Yeah.
How do you actually pronounce your last name?
Tieppo.
Tieppo.
Tieppo. Tieppo. Some people say Tieppo.
Really?
Yeah, don't know how.
Oh, because I forget the I.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Tieppo.
okay.
Yeah.
Signore Tieppo.
Signor Tieppo.
Signor.
Signor. When it's like a SIGN. Signor. It's like a...
Oh, it's like the N with a tilde in
Yeah.
Spanish. Okay. Yeah.
Signore.
Do you know where that comes from?
I actually don't. Oh, my last name?
Yeah.
Well, my dad's dad is from the northern part of Italy, a place called Castelfranco, which is 1 hour north of Venice. So up
Nice.
that. Up
That's a northeast kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up north there. I don't think I have family there anymore, but that's where the name's derived from. I actually haven't searched further back from that.
Cool.
So that's, I guess, where the name derives from.
That's it, man. I was just interviewing this 90-year-old Italian bloke.
Yeah.
And all the Italian town names sound the exact same to me. Campo this and Castillo this. And like
it's funny, like Castel, Campo, Parco.
Well, Campo is what field and Parco is park and Casto is like
Piazza is like place.
Yeah.
Like a square sort of thing. Plaza, yeah.
Oh, so good.
I was watching this, like, I love watching, I'm pretty sure it was Jamie Oliver. He went to this random town in the middle of nowhere in Italy and they kill a boar. It's like a tradition once a year. They kill a boar and then all these nonni like are around the square or the piazza or the plaza.
Nonni like grandparents?
Yeah. Nonni's a collective for two grandparents.
Okay.
Like saying grandparents, it's nonni.
Yeah.
So they have all these nonnas making fresh pasta, but they use the meat of the boar to make their own sauce and they have a competition who makes the best sauce.
With the same boar.
Yeah, from the board. And it's in a town tradition. It's an old like cooking show episode, but I've been trying to find it. And it's a place I really want to go to in Italy. Yeah.
Geez, you'd be like stiffed if you got the hoof or something. Like people are like fighting for the best part of the...
Yeah.
You have grandparents like whipping each other with pasta for the best cuts of meat. Like.
It actually gets aggressive.
Does
it? I think so.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen you in a better part of a year, I feel. When would I see you?
Yeah,
September or October?
When saw me?
Yeah.
Well, I met you last year when I first started doing our old job in sales. Would have been mid-March.
Mid-March we met, and then I think the last time I saw you would have been September or October.
Yeah, just around when you went to Tonga.
Yeah.
Tonga, yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
September was an interesting time, yeah.
Like huge updates since then, which is probably where I want to start because you're living in this like pretty big place with your girlfriend who has 2 kids. Like, fucking mind blown.
Yeah.
Can you just, I don't even know where to start, but tell me about it.
I guess, I guess to go a little bit of backstory. So, back in March 2024, I just got out of a relationship at the time, and that only lasted 3 months. And I remember the day that I started our old job, that's the day she broke up with me. And I was distraught. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. And she spoke a lot about the time, like she wants a guy that provides, like she wants a guy that's, rich and like gives her the Birkin bag and all that shit, right? And I thought, okay, and the way that it was sold to me at the time, like, okay, you can afford to buy all these things, you can afford to retire your parents, like all these things.
So because of this girl that you were briefly dating, you would put in your mind the idea of I want to be this protector provider, like money-wise.
Yeah, I think it made sense for me at the time, like all these things I was like, how do I get to this point? I could get through the job, like working at TPF.
So you start this job, which we were talking about yesterday with Jamie, obviously, because met, and the next 2 pods will be that as well, like this door knocking stuff with Hyper at the time. That whole model is basically selling that dream of financial freedom and money, right?
Yeah.
How did you even pick that as the job? Like,
I just found it on Seek. I was just, before that, at the end of 2023, I got let go of a marketing job. I was working as a BDM there, like glorified sales, basically. They were losing a fair bit of money at the time and they just could not afford to keep me. there were 3 BDMs and they decided to let me go. Now that business is basically down to 3 people working in Australia. But that's a story for another day.
Later on this day.
Yeah, later on in this episode. But yeah, so I was jobless at the time and I went back to retail because I didn't know what to do, and I wasn't the version of me to think ahead in a way. Like I only knew what I knew, and that I came from retail, thought, okay, I'd go back to retail. Then I found Hyper at the time. And then I came in for an interview and then I felt like I was really like heard and spoken to, like I was understood. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm 20, I was 26, just turned 25, turning 26 that year in 2024. And Kurt, my boss at the time, Kurt, he was listening to me. He's like, Benson, you seem like a guy who wants to help. You're destined for greatness, and which is always something I've always told myself. Like I'm always good. I know I'm good for something. There's this inner voice that I always have. It's like, I know I'm meant for something. So I felt like that really resonated with me at the time, like a really deep inner connection I had from that first interview with him. So I thought, this is it. This is for me. I got there, then my girlfriend broke up with me. I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm here now. I don't want to leave, but I want to stick it out and see what comes out of this.
So, because I want to break that apart. Now, for context, Hyper is door knocking, right?
Face-to-face sales.
So it's a pretty fucking shit job. Like
can be.
Yeah, and it has beautiful times, but like it's not something many kids are dreaming about becoming.
No.
And in exchange for doing a shit day-to-day job, you get all this support and structure and dreams and pathways to those dreams, which are quite actually real, right, to a certain degree. Can you take me back to that first connection with Kurt? Did you, because I didn't even know what the company did the first day, right? So like all this like talk and being seen and heard, looking back, it's like, oh, that's kind of just like a sales,
it was a sale. Yeah, it was a sale. It's like when someone comes to you with a problem, you hear it and listen, and then you provide a solution. Like that's a sale. So it's almost like I was unconsciously influenced to believe like, wow, this is great.
Because these guys are selling the idea of being a door knocker, which is a hard sell, so they become very good at that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to...
It is. And when you're out of that bubble, you're like, damn, like it was one big sales process. And I'm kind of glad I'm very glad I went through it. I am. That first connection with Kurt, to go back on that question, was, how do I put it? I was like, wow, there's this guy and he doesn't care what people think. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I see myself, I resonate with that. That's a version of me that I want for the future. And he's saying, oh, like I've got this Lionel Messi boot here. I'm like, wow, Lionel Messi, like soccer. I relate to soccer because I used to play it when I was a little boy. It just felt so easy. It's like, he goes, you can do so well here just by being a good person. And I always knew I was a good person. So I thought, cool, let's just go ahead with this. Learn how to sell. And then when we got the pitch in front of us on like day one of training, I'm like, I remember reading this pitch. I'm like, this is so easy, but why do I keep stuffing it up? And then I thought at the time, like, hang on, like great people start from the bare bones. Like, I'm sure I can do this as well. And I only just started getting into self-improvement at the time. Like, this is like maybe 3 weeks into self-improvement. I just read the Robert Kiyosaki book.
Is that Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then Kurt was saying a lot of these concepts from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, oh my God, here's an example of what the book was telling me about right in front of me. So I kind of followed that novelty, I think. And I remember in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, he actually did door-to-door sales. He started doing that just to get out of his shell. Not that I was an introverted person at all. I thought, oh, okay, like someone who's quite successful started here, I thought I may as well start here as well.
I think I remember distinctly at one point you and I saying to each other, or maybe saying to someone else outside of it all, maybe even on the doors, like some random dude at his doorstep, saying that, people who've done something great or gone on to do something great have often in their 20s, in their youth, done shit jobs like the mail run, the little mail boys or door knocking sales. And it's very rare that you see someone who's achieved something and then built a life for themselves that works and whatnot and hasn't spent a chapter or 2 chapters or 10 chapters in the trenches of things, so to speak.
Yeah, the trenches.
Had you, up to this point, felt like you hadn't really had an opportunity to be in the trenches of any kind?
At that point in time,
Yeah.
no. I think the trenches were just starting for me at that point. And like I probably have lived maybe a bit more than a sheltered life compared to most people. Like I still had my family around, like I have a roof over my head. I've never struggled to have food. But then I think these things are kind of little things were breaking down. Like I lost my job at the time before Hypergroup. My girlfriend at the time broke up with me. My brother admitted all these things about his mental health to me. And at the time I thought this is the worst thing in the world. But if I told that to anybody else, I'd be like, that's nothing. Like I've been through much worse.
But pain and suffering is relative, right?
Yeah.
In absolute terms, it might not look that bad, but the most painful, hard thing you've ever experienced is still the most painful, hard thing you've ever experienced. Like it is a 10 until something else comes along and moves that back down the scale.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that was like, in doing face-to-face sales, that was very much like pushed on you. Like they were trying to give you hard shit to do, trying to make you break past barriers. So they were very much into like the routine, like, do the hard things in the morning, like it makes your day easier. And at the time it really worked. Like it gave me the structure. They sold me a vision, which I thought perfect. Like I can attach a vision to this. I've got purpose now.
What was that vision?
The vision was like, okay, I can earn enough money by myself to provide for a family. I don't have to rely on anyone anymore. I can afford to buy my own house. I can pay off my uni HECS debt. Like I could live a life where I have my own kids and then I could be there to pick them up from school. That was important to me. Being home on time for dinner, because I remember my dad was home in time for dinner. The long-term goal, like being a nonno for my grandkids. That's what I wanted.
And how did door knocking lead to that vision?
It was very much like write down a piece of paper, what do you want? So I wrote those things down. And then it was like through this business model, you can achieve those things. You can have X amount of businesses. How much will your life actually cost? So then I had to work out what my dream house was. Like, it actually opened up my mind to dream again. So that's what I'm grateful for, because I'm like, a lot of these dreams, like having the cool car and like having the cool house, was shut down because I thought, it's never achievable anyway.
Hard when you work in retail.
Sorry?
Hard when you work in retail.
Yeah, it is. And it made logical sense to do it that way. But then the longer I went on the journey over that whole year, in the 365 days, I realized that the sacrifice for it, like I was struggling to live up to. I thought there's more to life than just the materialistic things. And
talk me through the roller coaster of that journey. Like, are there specific times where, this is going up, I'm learning all this stuff at the start? How long did that part last?
That lasted 6 months. From March, April, May, June, July,
September.
5 months, I'd say 5 months. So I was at the job for 5 months and then I moved from my parents' house out here to Carlton by myself. Luckily enough, there was a unit available, so I took it. And it was going really, really well up until that point. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm building a team. Like the people at work, they see me as someone great. They trust me to handle people who probably aren't at that stage yet in their life that I was. So they trusted me to look after somebody. And people came and left. And then when I moved out of home, like from that week onwards, I struggled really, really. I felt it was so hard for me to live up to the expectations that they set, plus the bar that I set for myself. I just couldn't get up there again. And I just couldn't understand why.
So what were those two, the standards you had for yourself, the bar that they set? Can you just break them down?
So when I was living at home with mum and dad, it was very easy to be selfish. So all I cared about was myself at that point. So my sales results were going really good. It was very much like, Benson, you've got this all to yourself. This is just for you. I'm like, cool. Then when I moved out of home.
So because mum might be cooking food, so you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about that. Laundry might be done. you don't have to
Laundry's
worry about it.
done.
Rent is being paid, whatever it is. Like,
didn't have to worry about paying for food, didn't have to worry about paying for rent, didn't have to worry about washing, didn't have to worry about preparing dinner on time. Like it was all done for me. There's my sheltered life. Then when I moved out of home, all those things I just said, I have to do now.
and was that, how much of a struggle was that if that was the first time in your life?
I didn't think it was a struggle at first. I struggled from the money side of things. Like, I guess it kind of started to stress me out a little bit financially because all the sales and commission money that I was earning, I wasn't earning anymore because I'm putting a lot of my effort into doing the things at home. Like, I was still trying to do the...
So ironically, you're taking energy and time and effort away from sales into domestic tasks. So you're getting less money, but now because you have a domain to uphold, you need more money than ever before.
And that's where I was getting frustrated. I'm like, why can't I perform to the same level? Like I've moved, my parents were nagging me like, why are you doing this job? Why are you doing this job? You're out until 8 o'clock at night. You're out in the rain. Like you're getting the police called on you. Like, why are you still there?
Oh my God, I can't wait to tell
Got the police called on me.
Can you just real
3
quick
times.
Can you tell those stories?
The first time.
I mean, already, if anyone's still listening,
I hope so.
like 10 minutes in, like, I mean, you are the sweetest, kindest man. Like, you know, you really can't find it, and you're jacked as well. So it's like, it's so funny the idea of getting police called on you. But yeah, but what happened?
It was like when maybe I was like 2 months into doing door-to-door sales, or probably a month in. We went on a business trip to Echuca. And
by business trip, you mean we're knocking doors for a week in Echuca?
Yes, we were knocking doors for a week in a rural part of Victoria or Australia. So it was technically the legal knocking time is 6 p.m, but we were out until 7 p.m. that night. And we didn't really know about the legal knocking time at that point. We just said, just keep going until you can't.
We weren't told that, which became an issue for the organisation.
It did. That's another part of the chapter.
But we
were out at 7 p.m. and it was dark. And I knocked on this guy's door, but I knocked, if anyone knows, the hinges of the door are the strongest part of the door, but I knocked on the side where the handle was, which is the weakest part of the door. So when I knocked on that part of the door rattled and it rattled across the whole house. And I remember hearing
the whole house.
These dogs were barking inside the house. I'm like, oh crap, like that was a pretty loud knock. I didn't put much force into it. But it rattled the house.
What was the house? You painted the picture of the house.
It was like this old rickety shack. With 2 big dogs barking inside. And then I hear, what is it? Inside, I'm like, oh, fuck. So I stood 3 big steps back. And then the guy comes out and says, what do you want? And I was like, hey, mate. And you're trained to disarm a situation just by killing people with kindness. So I was like, hey, how you going? Like acting as if it was completely normal. Like, yeah, hey, sorry for knocking so loud. He's like, what are you doing here this late at night? I was like, oh, we're just doing donations. And because we're selling charity, like a monthly charity donation.
Trying to get people to sign up for $40 a month or whatever.
Yeah. And the dogs were barking, goes, get the hell out of here, fuck off. I was like, all right, I'll go. He goes, get out. I'm like, I'm walking, like, oh, fucking relax. Anyway, I get to the point I'm quite hungry, so I actually brought my food with me in my bag. So I'm sitting on the gutter, which is a very normal thing to do doing face-to-face. I was just sitting on the gutter eating my food.
Yeah.
And then...
And you were always, because I think you were bodybuilding at the time or so, or close to it, so you were always having chicken and rice on the field,
always bring my food with me, always. And I see these it was a long street, and I remember a car had its high beams flash at me from like 100 meters away. I'm like, that's weird. Why would someone flash their lights? Then the sirens start popping off. I'm like, oh.
Did you know immediately?
I'm like, it's got to be that guy that called the police. So anyway, the police roll up to me. They're like, did you bash on someone's door? I'm like, I said to them, yes, I did knock on someone's door. I didn't bash the door. And I know it was me, yes. They're like, that's all right, mate. Like, you shouldn't be out this time of the night. Just be wary. That's all they really said. We'll take your name. Like, oh, fuck.
They definitely get called from that guy every other week.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first time the cops were called on me.
Okay, second time? I think I was with you the second time. I think I was on the field with you.
I think you were, yeah. What was the second time? The second time the cops were called me, I was in Wheelers Hill.
Yes, I remember that day. Yeah.
Yeah, and then knocked on a guy's door earlier in that day. No one answered. I thought you go back and do the houses of the people that weren't home. So you write them on a piece of paper. Went back to that same guy's house, big house, probably looks like 5-6 bedrooms. I don't know. Knock on the door again. No one home. I'm like, all right, this is at 5 p.m. So I thought I'd walk away, go to the next house of the person that wasn't home. Then as I'm walking down the steps, the guy rolls up with his daughter in the car. So I was like, oh, hey, tried to like wave. And he's looking at me like, here we go. Guy in a big ute, Italian looking guy, doesn't look happy. I'm like, all right. So
we're wearing our like lanyards and we're in a bright green top.
Yeah.
So it should be obvious that we weren't staking out the place, I feel.
And like, if you're going to rob the house, why would you do it wearing all that high vis stuff? Like,
you do it as a charity worker, but not a high vis charity worker.
yeah, exactly. Like you'd wear clothes like I am now.
Yeah.
So he rolls down the windows like, what are you doing here? And I was like, as I said, kill him with kindness. Hey mate, I'm just doing some donations. Why here? I'm like, just so you know, I knocked 3 times. Like, why 3 times? I was like, oh, well, no one was home, so I kept knocking. He goes,
Tell them you're doing the whole neighborhood?
yeah, I said, I'm doing the whole neighborhood, like all that sort of spiel.
Yeah.
And then he gets out of the car. He goes, can I see your ID, please? So I'm wearing my badge. I'm like, this is my badge. He goes, that looks like you, but I don't know if your name is Benson. And so I looked at him. I was like, I just said to him, who would call their son Benson? And he goes, you're asking for my name. I deserve to see your ID. I was like, well, this is my best ID. I don't have my driver's license on me right now. Look, I'll just keep going. That's fine. You stay there. So as I walked up the street, he was actually following me up the street.
Walking?
He was walking with me, like following. He goes, hey, mate, I'm going to have to see your ID. I'm like, no, I don't have it on me. He goes, well, I'm going to have to call the cops. And I just said, you can call the cops. That's fine. I'll just got to keep doing my job. So he kept following me up the street and kept following.
So he thinks he's a bit of a hero at the moment, like
Yeah.
protecting the neighborhood. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think he would have just come back from picking his daughter up from some sort of sport because it was like 5-6 p.m. at night. And then the cops didn't rock up, but they were called, supposedly, according to him. And I remember that night going home in the driver's car, I got a follow request from that guy because we stopped at one point. I said to him, look, what's your name? He goes, Maurizio. I'm like, hey, Maurizio, look, you're Italian? He goes, yeah, I'm Italian. I'm like, listen, I'm Italian too. And my nonna would be very disappointed if I came to rob your house. And so he goes, yeah, mate, look, I just get scared because we just got broken into like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand that, but I wouldn't do it dressed in this. Like, let's be honest. He goes, yeah, all right. But then I get a follow request from that same guy later that night, but then he deleted it.
Oh.
So he obviously tried to search my name to see if I was actually legit.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows what's happened at that point. That was like the second sort of, I guess, close to getting the cops caught. I don't know if he was telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So funny.
that was the second time. The third time the cops got called to me was, I can't remember which suburb we were in, Albert Park, I believe. I was so there was this guy that started with me. His name was Adam. I hope you get to podcast with him
I
one
really
day.
want, yeah.
I hope you get to.
He
But,
was keen. He was going to be episode 20 and then he wasn't feeling like
Really?
good or something. Yeah.
okay. I hope you get to. Yeah.
We'll get him on.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. I'm just collecting the characters. You know,
Yeah.
and the door knocking have provided plenty of characters.
Yeah. Well, you get exposed to all these people, like
Yeah.
all these different
And
personalities at
everyone
different
who
points
can
in time.
do door knocking inherently by having the ability to do that kind of job, you're going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you will be interesting because the amount of situations you get thrown into, it really builds your character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember he knocked on someone's house and it was his like 3rd or 4th week in. So I just hear this shouting across the road. I'm like, what's happening? And Adam comes across the road. He's like, bro, this guy's fucking shouting at me, bro. Like, it's all right. And I was like, And I was just looking at him like, I don't know. I didn't know what the problem was. Anyway, we got picked up for lunch.
I can't believe Adam didn't get the cops called on it.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
So,
Okay.
well, we got picked up for lunch in that street, and the guy was looking out on his lawn like this, like seeing us drive to lunch. Yeah, like a meerkat. So we had lunch. We come back to the same spot we got dropped off from. So we started back where we finished, and the cops were there waiting for us. So we walked past the cops. They rolled down the window because they were parked on the side of the road. Mind you, we're two big boys dressed in high
You're
visibility
big and
green.
Adam's like a foot taller than you.
Yeah, exactly. Adam's massive. And so they rolled down the window. They're like, do you guys have anything to do with that stolen car over there? We're like, what? And so they're like, well, I was like, no, we're just doing selling donations. And they're like, oh, okay. We just got a call not long ago about you guys stealing a car. We're like, what? Apparently they were staking out this car that was parking on the street. So they
You
got
were
that.
staking that.
No, the cops were staking out that car. Apparently it was a stolen car.
Okay.
So the call about us knocking the door, they must have linked that to the stolen car.
Right, so they were like, this is a stolen car. We're going to wait until whoever presumably stole it comes back for
Yeah,
it.
but the guy that Adam knocked the door from, they called the cops. So it linked to a story about a stolen car on that street.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't know what car that is. Like, I'm just out here doing sales.
It's so funny because there were a few. I mean, I'm throwing myself under the bus. There was probably one or two moments, especially towards the end, where I kind of half lost my fuse in a sense. Like, and
Which is so normal.
nothing crazy, but like, definitely didn't have the most wholesome interaction with people. And
No.
I feel but I mean, maybe if I put on 20 kilos of muscle, I'd also get the cops called on me. But yeah,
Well,
it's just always so funny to hear Benson got cops called
I
on
know.
again. I've never seen him be nothing but kind and nice.
it was, oh my God. And it really it's like, how, am I that intimidating to people? I didn't really get it at the time. I was like, what do people see me as? And then the cop's like, we'll just take your name. Like, all right, Benson. So I took my name. So I'm sure if anyone looked up my name, they can see that I was doing door-to-door sales. Yeah, so those were the 3 times
Nice.
or 3 kind of cop run-ins, maybe.
Unreal.
2.5 times.
Okay, so let's keep on going with the story of Hyper and then you in it. You moved out, and was your experience in the sales plateauing or going down, or?
It was either plateauing down, then back to that baseline, back down. I was never going beyond that baseline. Like, no matter how hard I tried, I just could not get above that baseline. I didn't know what it was.
So how does one try harder in the context of door knocking sales? What does that look like day to day, week to week?
Yeah, great question. So they were very much like, do the routine that makes you feel your best. So it was I wouldn't say invasive, but they were very interested in what you did in your personal life. So I told them all about how I moved out of home. I was single. Like, I loved my exercise. I'd see my friends where I could on the weekend. I'd try and see my family. So how someone tries harder is that you do more inputs that benefit the job or the face-to-face sales interview. So that could be learning how to sell, like going back on relearning the basics, practicing a pitch, networking with people or putting time into network with people who have been in that situation before where they have plateaued. Like, what did they do to get themselves out? Like,
Keep on going, just with it.
yeah.
Cool.
All these things that get you closer and closer towards like, okay, maybe it was this that was holding me back. So I tried doing those things. Was getting up in the morning. I was getting up at 5 a.m, journaling, meditating, reading, going to the gym, coming back for a cold shower, getting ready for the office. Like, I was doing that every day.
Wow, from 5.
From 5, yeah. So I'll go to bed at 8:30 or 9. So I kept doing that every day.
Can you run me through? I know it might be a bit boring, but like, can you run me through the full day of
My typical day.
Yeah, so 5 a.m. Like,
So the typical day of me doing face-to-face sales was I would wake up at 5 a.m. I wouldn't even look at my phone, but I wake up at 5 a.m. What would I do? Like, have a glass of electrolytes with creatine and have some...
what was that video that went viral of that big black dude? who had the morning routine.
Oh, put his face in the water. That didn't come until like not.
That was
later
only a
this
few
year.
months ago.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It was kind of
similar
like that.
vibe, yeah.
Similar sort of vibe, like 5:16, do this.
Yeah.
5:69, do something else. Yeah, so it was very much that sort of routine. So I got up, I read 10 pages of a book, then I meditated for 2 minutes. Then I had pre-workout oats. Then I would go to the gym for an hour, come back from the gym, have a cold shower, woke myself up, got dressed in a shirt and pants, ready for like a morning meeting at 8 a.m.
I mean, again, but I want to stress that if any door knockers, especially ones who are still doing it, are watching this, I love it. Like I have all the time in the world for it. I love the people I met and have a lot of respect and love for it all. Not for me, not for, I would say, most people, but there are so many things that are comical about it. Like the idea of door knockers or like people who are the annoying people outside the supermarket, but they're going twice a week to the office dressed up in the finest like 3-piece suit they can find.
Yeah.
Because it's all this like sales show to like have this vision of you as this business entrepreneur. It's funny.
Yeah, corporate athlete, which is what it was. Like you work out, you do things that physiologically make you feel good. So I was trying to do all those things, and then there was so much like content being pushed onto you over the day that like you get weighed down. I felt that I was weighed down. Maybe I'm a deeper thinker than most people. And then I would bring these, I would think that there were issues like, am I too deep of a thinker? Am I not a go-getter sort of guy?
So they give you some life advice or sales theory, and that weighed, what part of it weighed you down, would you say?
It was more like you get into a morning meeting and then they would put up on a whiteboard of like how to earn this much money or those sorts of things, or this concept, what you can get with this money, or when this level of the business, what does that mean for you? What version of you, what qualities of a leader you need to have the best team, like those sorts of things. So I'd write all these down in notes. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I have this quality.
It was very dense, wasn't it?
Very dense. And then the way Kurt would have it would be like, if you don't have this quality, you're just not going to build a big team. And if you don't build a big team, you can't earn this money. That's how it was. And then I'm thinking like, oh, fuck, like I don't have this quality. Am I doomed for life? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then it would play on my mind over the whole day. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. It was like, am I not meant for this? Like, is this sort of sales gig? Like, yes, I can earn great money from it. And yes, I can be a really driven person from it, from doing the routine, but why isn't it coming? Like I'm doing all the things.
It's interesting that I never actually considered that, because my own experience in the company was I increasingly was into the idea, and this is a cool framework. I can see myself finding a way to express through business and entrepreneurship my own unique whatever. But I was always very aware that I had unique skills and whatever, and wasn't going to fit in some cookie cutter mode. I was like, that was crystal clear to me, and probably to everyone else as well. Like, the kind of suits.
It was a cookie cutter thing.
But yeah, it was very much fall into the mold of that big boss, which works, and to his credit works for him, so why wouldn't it work for other people? But for instance, Dan, I would say, is a lot more open to the idea of really figuring out who an individual is and then seeing if they can find a path. Maybe I might just be saying that because we had more distance from him. I mean, he was around a lot more when you were there later. So it's interesting to hear you say how you felt this friction against who you are, and through this you're really figuring yourself out more and more through this self-knowledge, self-improvement journey. At the same time, it's parallel with, I need to fit into this cookie cutter and it's not quite working.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm growing who I am, but I'm trying to put in this direction and that's not working.
Yeah. It was, because like, I guess when I first saw Kurt and everyone respected him, like, wow, everyone listens to him. Like this, that's actually, I had a vision in my head. That's what I thought I wanted to be. And then the more I tried to get there, the more steps I took, the more steps it would bring me back. It's almost like when I tried to go in that direction, there was something that kept pulling me away from that. And I guess that's why I wanted to speak about like a spiritual thing. It's like there was something in me that just wasn't letting me align and get there. And the more I think about their ideal person that did really well was someone who never lived at home with their family, didn't really have many friends in a close physical proximity, someone who didn't really have too much experience before sales. Like,
You know, you're describing Kurt,
yeah,
like someone who is very around his identity, which makes sense. And I think he's a fascinating character. I remember sitting down with him and basically running the pod on him before I even had a podcast. I remember he invited me for a dinner and I just fucking did this for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Like, I hope I can get him on the pod one of these days. So I hope he's not offended by this chat, for instance. But yeah, man, it's and from all reports, that was eventually, and I hope we get there, like I guess a bit of the bump in the road for his own business journey was the fact that he was probably structuring it so that essentially you need to be like him or turn into someone like him, which means whoever's under him is always going to be limited by how high he goes. Whereas I think the beauty of what the model allows for, whether someone can actually pull it off or not, is that if you can unleash people's individuality, then they can actually surpass their mentors.
Interesting concept. And I think of Pierce Waring, like never really worked a job. He only played professional soccer, but never worked a job before being at Hyper. So then I sometimes ponder that, like, did he only know what he knows at the time? That's why he's done so well. He didn't really know anything else. I'm still trying to put my finger on that one. Like, why do certain individuals make and why do people come and go?
And you haven't got very close in figuring that out?
I think my priorities or what I valued were far different to what people there valued. When I started going all in on it, I barely ever saw my friends. I barely ever saw my family. The only people I saw were the people I worked with, because obviously I spent a lot of time at work. There was a time once when we were in the office on a Sunday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And I remember getting home thinking, like, why did I spend so long in the office? But then at the time, it was very much like, these people are your family, like, you're going to work with them. But I didn't relate to people there. Like, I never saw them as my family. But then Kurt was very much, these people are my family. But I just couldn't do that because my family up here value things far differently compared to the people I work with. Maybe that's where the friction lay. And then until I met Sammy, that's when more friction, there's nothing wrong with that friction with Sammy coming in, but that's when more friction made me realize, like, oh crap, like all these things I valued, I just can't relate to anymore.
It's a very interesting thing about the family as well. I definitely feel like that. And again, I really like a lot of people I met there, but yeah, it's never a feeling of, oh, these are the people I could spend the rest of my, life just being around them only. And that is, I guess, yeah, you're right. Like, that is quite a prerequisite. Like, that's kind of required.
I thought it was, I guess, another reason why I was getting frustrated with it is that they were very much talking about concepts on the wall of, like, your morning routine, like, do your exercise, eat healthy. I was doing all those things, but other people weren't doing those things, but doing so much better than I was. And, like, I was trying not to compare myself, but then I'm just thinking, I'm doing all the things they're saying that supposedly works, but it's just not working. So that's where I was getting frustrated.
How do you like the actual act of door knocking sales? What was your relationship with the moneymaker? The
moneymaker, yeah.
Knocking the doors and getting sales and saying pictures and tell me a bit about your relationship with that.
At first I'm like, oh wow, this is something everyone started as. Like, I can start here too. Like, I still see the benefits of doing it. I'm actually really glad I did it. It definitely molded me into a stronger person in a way, like deal with the rejection, obviously. in terms of the moneymaker, there were definitely times where I was happy to sign someone up to a charity donation. And there were definitely times where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have signed that person up.
Why?
They might have been giving me signs where an old version of me would have been like, okay, that's okay, you know, maybe it's not for you. But then...
What kind of signs would people give for that?
It would just be like common objections like, I can't afford it, or this is not really for me, but you seem like a nice guy, so I'll do it anyway. It makes sense to help children out, so I'll do it anyway. But I guess maybe people help out in other ways. I don't have to sign up to a $40 donation to do it.
It's a fascinating tension, I certainly feel, and not one that
I didn't feel bad about going out there to do sales, like, because I knew in my heart that I was a good person. There's nothing to be scared of from a door-to-door salesperson. And if someone didn't want to speak to me, I was very respectful. I was like, that's okay. Like, in case anyone comes around again, like, maybe you might be in a better position then. Like, I tried to leave it like that. But
How did you feel selling charity specifically?
I thought it was good. Like, I'd rather that than doing like solar, because people just don't want it at the end of the day. Like, yeah, people more open to charity. It was an easier,
Did you feel it was weird
emotional
that
sell.
essentially the first 12 months of their donations are going to sales organizations and marketing agencies? And
It didn't feel wrong, no, because I knew that if the quality of people that I signed up were pretty good, they saw the value in it, and they see that I put in the effort to actually get there to speak to them. I thought it was fascinating how, I guess to answer your question about what I think about, I thought it was fascinating how someone I never met before is willing to give me their credit card just from me getting them to like me.
you had an amazing credit card, because that was a big marker, right? Like, what percentage of your sales can be credit card? Because credit cards won't
fail.
when they try to take a direct debit. You know, like they'll try the credit card a few times, and there's always money on it by definition, unless they've maxed out their credit.
Yeah.
And you had a massive credit card ratio, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like 40 or 50%, 40% I'd say
Pretty sure
at one
people
point.
were like supposed to be 30, and a lot of people would struggle for 30, and you had 50%.
Yeah. No, I just got good at asking for someone's credit card.
Yeah.
And then,
Man,
yeah,
it's just such a wild. I mean,
there's so many facets to it.
it's so interesting. I feel like I was looking forward to this weekend, because we got like 4 door knocking interviews, and just like opening up that world, because I've not buried it in any way, and again, I don't have much trauma around it or anything, but haven't thought about it at all, really, for a long time, and just like, oh wow, we were like tactically doing on whiteboards how to get a credit card and practicing credit cards and how to not be awkward when they pull on. Like, are you shy of like, when I walk down the street now and I'm looking at someone knocking doors or outside the supermarket, in a mindset of being more of a general public person, I'm like, well, that's just some random fucking uni student or something.
Yeah.
Not that like, wow, they have dreams of financial freedom and they're tactically looking at the sales scripts.
I've got some sort of morning routine going on.
Yeah,
like,
they're doing cold ice baths and staying in the office on Sundays. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. Like, there's more to someone just from the surf or the face value.
it's great.
Yeah.
I froth it. Yeah.
I guess another thing I enjoyed, I don't know if this is like a cocky thing to say, but being the bigger guy, like the muscly guy, when I'm going to someone's door, I thought, okay, people will respect me that I've taken time into my health. I'm not just some slobby person. I was always clean shaved, like going to someone's house, like looking presentable. It's like a small 1%er that I was trying to do to, I guess, win people over in a way.
Okay, so the next step of the business outside of the door knocking and sales was kind of, let's become a leader. Let's see if we can teach other people to do that. And that's like the second step of your way to being a big business person and running organizations and whatnot. How did you find that part of the journey when you had the opportunity to?
Yeah, I found that difficult because when I started getting more people on, I could never it was very much a thing like do heaps of sales, and then the people watching you, your Padawans basically, they will see doing heaps of sales as normal. But then every time I had a new person on, I could never do the 30 sales a week, the 50 sales a week. Just couldn't do it. Like I tried. And so the people I had on my team were only doing a third as good as I was doing. If I got 2 that day, they would do 1 or 0. And then that would hold them back because they couldn't get enough volume. They were like, oh, this is shit. Like, why am I putting in all these hours just to get 1 or 2 a week, not making commission, not earning the money that was promised through this business model? So then I felt bad. I'm like, I'm letting these people down. And then there were people taken off my team. I'll do okay. Then someone put on my team, will back down again. And I tried networking to see how I could get past that. And then it was very much like, you need to be selfish, Benson, but then you need to be selfless at the same time to help that person. You need to shout them dinner, but hang on, wait, you need to save your money for this sort of thing. I'm like, it was so fucking confusing sometimes. And it fucking frustrated me, to be honest. Like, I was trying to earn the commission to put money away, and then I wasn't earning it. And then I almost was I was actually living paycheck to paycheck. And then it got to the point where I was spending more money than I was earning. I was dipping into savings because I was trying to invest money to make myself feel happy, like going out for a coffee because I like having coffee. Trying to sign up to like a different gym because sometimes I like going to different gyms. Like that sort of shit like makes me happy, but I just couldn't. I was getting frustrated within myself that I just couldn't achieve what I was there to achieve.
I would love to know what percentage of people who stay around that industry are living paycheck to paycheck. I found my spending and saving habits and muscle, like my saving muscle, had just atrophied to no end by living in Guatemala.
Yeah.
And I mean, in some sense, I was a salesman, right? Because I was running my own business, teaching people freediving. And the nature of that little tourism section industry was that people would book, in advance. So I didn't have it structured in a way that I could know roughly how much I was going to make. It was more like kind of make a sale, talking to someone at the hostel, the sauna, and then they're popping in the lake in a few days and running a course. Yeah. So some months you're making, $2-3 grand US, and then some months will be really slow. It's like 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky.
Wow.
And I mean that was very good money for Guatemala. But also I knew I wasn't going to be there forever, and I'm in this awesome place, so I'm wanting to party and have fun and eat well and live in a nice spot to enjoy it, because I know this is going to be a limited chapter.
Okay.
And I just did not save a cent. And I took that into, and it was you could kind of get away with it because I had my own business that had such high margins, and I was super passionate about it. Yeah. So I was like, this is great. I can just run this, even if it's paycheck to paycheck. I can just run this forever because it's great. Moving to Australia, suddenly there's so many more hidden costs in life in Australia, whether it's car rego or petrol or any of these things I just wasn't doing. Yeah. Parking fines got me last year so bad. I paid $1 grand in parking fines over the course of last year.
Fucking assholes.
Oh, and then I was doing this similar salesy job. Money comes in depending on how well you've interacted with the marketplace. But I was not, crazy passionate about it. I wouldn't want to do it forever. So it was really weird. Now even though I'm earning no money, essentially I'm saving. I'm earning probably half of what I earned last year on average, and saving.
I've found that as well.
5 times more.
I've actually found that as well. Now that I've moved on to different work, I'm actually much happier and saving more as a result.
Because I'm not looking because I think that kind of that industry is selling you on financial freedom for your dreams, and it's surrounding money and whatnot, and it's sales, money. And then, so you prioritize naturally by buying into that idea, you prioritize money in your life more. So therefore, it just becomes a bigger deal to have money. Yeah. Now I'm prioritizing other things that give me satisfaction and validation and thinking I'm going in the right direction, detached from the concept of money.
Yeah.
so I don't need to spend it to get good feelings.
That makes sense to me. I kind of feel the same. It's like, I guess my form of satisfaction is being home, like I said it before, but being on time for dinner. It's waking up on a Sunday and like I've got my partner there with me and like we're hanging out together. I can see my auntie's just living above me right now. It's like seeing her whenever I want. And my nonna comes as well. So I get to see my nonna. I have time to see my nonna. Like that matters more to me than money now.
Yeah.
And I'm fine, I'm spending less.
I asked myself the question when I left the company. Similar to that number, like write out your vision. What's your number that you need to pay for this? And, you know, let's say $10 million is usually enough for most people. I remember Pierce saying like 10 mil, that's the number. That's most people's number, you know. And I was like, okay, so if I actually had 10 mil in the bank, what would I, like really meditating on it, spent days doing this, like, what would I want my life to look like? And I came to the conclusion, I can say it, like, well, I definitely want to be traveling around the world sailing around the world, for sure. I'd love to be like, but I know I don't want to be permanently traveling because I'm not rooted.
Okay.
Like, I do want to be Australian and, like, you know, be with friends and family. So I want like a foot in Australia and a foot sailing around the world.
Yeah.
In Australia, I've never found a good enough like position and place. But the paramedic idea was like, oh, I can do that. I can roll around in an ambulance for a couple of days a week. Like, I wouldn't want to do it full time. I want to be committed, like, in it. But yeah, so it's like maybe I'm in Australia as a paramedic, and then I'm sailing around the world, and I'd love to do the podcast and collect all these character stories in both worlds, you know, in the whole time. So I'm like, hang on, does that even need? I don't think that needs $10 million. You know? Oh no, I think you go for it.
Yeah.
And that kind of liberated me. I was like, hang on. So I probably don't need to chase and get $10 million to build what I would do if I had $10 million. I could maybe skip that part.
Right.
And just go directly at what I'm wanting. Because so often we sacrifice our vision of happiness and fulfillment and whatnot for success because we've been told that success is going to allow us to live that vision.
Yeah.
Often, I think it's the case, actually, if you're brave enough to shoot directly at it and have faith that the money will always be enough. And it probably will be enough because you've got what you actually want.
That's very interesting you say that.
No one wants $10 million in the bank, like to just look at the number in the bank. Like, that's not the dream. The dream is what that supposedly buys.
Yeah. Kurt was very much like that. Like he was literally saying to me sometimes look at my bank account, like, wow, I've got this. I thought that'd be a cool thing to say. Wow, I've got this. So then I was trying to strive for that, but then I was just becoming more unhappy trying to get there. I felt more alone because my friends couldn't really understand me. And then we were kind of sold the thing like, yeah, people won't understand you. That's okay. But the people you surround yourself with, they will understand you. Like the people doing the face-to-face sales with you. But then I was like, I can't be with these people. Just something just wasn't spiritually there to hold me there.
So did you feel like you were having to put on any masks or fakeness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like I stupidly said yes to like, because there were times where we wrote down 3 M's. It was movement, maintain, motivation. So the movement is what do you need to move out of your life? Maintain is what do you need to keep doing in your life? Motivation is what you want more of. So I remember sitting down with my leader and he was like, and at the time, my aunties or my uncle was quite sick at the time. And I was helping my aunt while I was living in Carlton here, my other unit. He needed help getting up and about the bed. And my auntie was looking after him full time just from Alzheimer's. And I was taking my little cousin to school. And I remember sitting down with Jack and my leader, he was like, Benson, do you really think taking your cousin to school is serving you right now? And then at the time we had the 3 M's in front of me and I was like, shit, do I have to move that out? And I wrote that down as a movement and I feel so guilty for doing that. And then my uncle died and that's basically the time Kurt let me go. because I told him about the whole thing, and it was really weird because that week he invited me to fly up to Brisbane for like, you know, those work conferences.
The Rising Star.
Something like that. It was like it was the awards. He paid for me to go, but I told him I've got the funeral on that day. I can't go. And then he sat me down that week saying, just to let you know, like, we have to let you go. So it didn't really make sense to me that week. It was, very strange.
Bad look.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
That was the week leading up. Like, paid to go. I already told him there's a funeral coming up. Told him the day of the funeral when it was, and that's the same day as the awards. I just can't go to this awards. And that's when he said, you can't be here anymore, Benson. So then at that point, I felt like, oh, fuck, like...
Were you doing okay sales? Why?
No, not at all. I was doing like 5-6 a week.
Okay. And for context, 10 is like the bar. There are many people who consistently don't do that, but like, 10 is
Yeah, it's like they were saying how much of a great leader I was, like, and they were inviting me into the office saying, Benson, this is the owner lifestyle you can live. So I think it was another sales thing. They were trying to like sell me on like the lifestyle of a business owner, which I liked. Like I could go home at 3 p.m. I could be there in time for my family. But then when I get back on the field, the results just still weren't there. And they were very much results driven. And that when I lost my job, I felt so upset. I was like, has everything I strive for, am I not meant to be that person that they said has to be? Was I not meant to be that person or the version of me that was meant to be successful? So I felt so brought down by that. But then going...
So was it were you expecting that to be let go?
It was very much in my mind, like, should I quit now? I know I'm meant to quit, but when is going to happen? Yeah. And I was kind of waiting for them to tell me, like, Benson, you can't be here anymore. I kind of wanted that conversation. I wanted it. But it was almost like my own stubborn mind, like, I should still be here. Like, this is still holding me to be successful, to be rich. And then it was kind of the only thing I knew how to do well, because I've proved myself that I can do well there. But when I got let go, I was like, oh, fuck, maybe I'm not meant to be successful anymore. And they were very much like, whenever someone left, they were like, that's right, Benson, they gave up on their dreams. And I remember a few times I broke down and I went to Kurt, it's just not working. And he'll be like, Benson, if you quit, it means you give up on your dreams. And that kind of held me there. Like, fuck, I don't want to give up on my dreams. I feel like I'm going to let my family down. That's why I stayed. And then when they got let go, I'm like, oh, I was never meant to be that person anyway. But it's weird what you said, that when you go for something you want, nothing else matters. So now in my current point in time in my life, I've weirdly got everything I've asked for. I didn't speak up to the universe like, give me a family, give me a girlfriend. I didn't ask for that like that. I just thought in my head, while you're on the doors, you're in your own head a fair bit, and you try to block out that noise. But sometimes the odd occasional thought pop in like, wonder what my girlfriend would be doing right now this is when I was single. Wonder what if I had a girlfriend, would I live with her? How many kids would I have? How much would it cost to take them to school? What kind of dad do I want to look like? What if I did content creation? What if I sold gym equipment? That'd be a fun one. Like, these weird thoughts would come in my head every now and then. All those things I've just listed, I've got now. But I don't know how that's happened, but I've got it. So when Sammy came around, like, I was investing more time into that relationship.
So talk me through the initial phases of Sammy. What's that?
So we broke up for Christmas doing face-to-face sales. Like, it was a Christmas break. Yeah. I had all the time in the world because usually I'd be up at 5, out on the doors until 7 p.m, getting back home at 8. That was my day.
If you're waking up at 5 and being home at 8, like... Were you sacrificing sleep or like what?
No, I was still getting 7.5 hours minimum.
But you're just like at the night. Like,
you're like home, dinner, shower, bed.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was.
Brutal.
That's literally what it was. Because all my leaders were doing that as well. So I thought that was normal. And I'd still do that, actually. I still do that. Anyway, when I met Sammy, that came from an Instagram DM basically. But
really?
Yeah, long story short, we met. And
DM?
Well, she followed me on Instagram, And I thought, oh, this girl's quite hot. But I didn't actually really look at her profile properly. I was like, yeah, she's hot. And I thought, hot girl, don't even want to message her. Fuck that. Like, I'm just focused on myself, being selfish. Yeah. It's all about distraction. Limit that, Benson. That's what it was at the time. And then she started liking all my posts. I'm like, all right, she's trying to get my attention.
You must know now on the other side, and as you say, we'll probably get her on in a later ep. Like, how did she find you on Instagram? Do you know? She
doesn't know. She just said my profile popped up, and then she pressed follow. And I had a gorilla emoji on my name, like Benson. There was a gorilla there, and she thought, that's cool. I'll follow that guy. That's her story. And then she started liking all my posts, and I'm just thinking at the time, like, she's trying to get attention. She's probably got all these other fucking guys trying to get attention. I'm not going to bother trying to be amongst them. So I just let it go. And then she kept liking my stories, kept liking my shit. I didn't like any of hers. And then eventually I gave in. I just sent a message saying,
listen to all the boys, be the flower, not the bee or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I was letting things come my way. I wasn't trying to proactively get her, right? I wasn't trying to message her. So then I eventually gave in. I just sent the first message. I was like, so where did you spawn from? That was my first message. And she thought it was funny, according to her. And here I'm thinking this girl's really hot. We started talking. Now I started looking at her profile more. I'm like, oh fuck, she's actually got 2 kids. I didn't scroll down enough. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So then,
what was your initial reaction? And I grant that, because I presume she's going to watch this and whatnot. So I'm interested in asking questions and I dig into that, and I completely understand if I'm like, on things. But what was your reaction to that?
When I met her, or when started messaging? When you
saw that she had kids?
See, this is the interesting thing about, like, what's your vision of a single mum? And I had that vision. I thought it was a negative one. I was like, she's broken up with her husband. Someone may or may not have cheated. That's what I thought it was. She's a very good looking girl, quite young. I always saw in the stories that she was partying. So I thought, maybe she's just a party mum. I don't want to be part of that.
Because I feel like in society that doesn't have good connotations.
No. First thing I'm thinking in my head when I saw it, I'm like, who's minding the kids? So I didn't really try to pursue it at all. She reckons I was sending blunt messages. I thought I was making the effort. But anyway, but we broke up. She ignored me for 2 weeks, and then I double messaged. She posted a story and I double messaged, which is like a sin for single guys to do. But I did it anyway. Anyway, the chat was getting really good on text. So then, long story short, one night, it was just Boxing Day. I met her. I was just eating a fucking salad at home. And then she messaged me. She was out with her friend drinking. She's like, come out, you little bitch. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm going out. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to be there soon. She didn't actually believe that I was coming. So I met her at a bar, and she actually was so surprised that I rocked up. She goes, oh, hey, how you going? And she was so nervous. She couldn't even look at me in the eyes. She kept looking at the wall. So I was trying to talk to this girl, and then her friend was being drunk. And as soon as I walked in, her friend's like, Sammy, this is the hottest guy you've ever seen, and you fucking know. She's drunk off her head. And I thought, I've never met these girls.
And you know that they were like having a girls' day drinking or whatever, and then they're like, yeah, send the text, come here, bitch.
And like, I actually rock up, and being the door-to-door salesman, like throwing myself into a situation like that, it was so normal. Yeah. So I thought, oh, this is easy, like just a fucking another sale. So then I rock up, I'm like, hello, and then her friend was like, oh, you can come over anytime. Like, come over. This is the first 1 minute of me rocking up. And I'm looking at Sammy, I'm like, is this your friend? And I remember coming, I see the table, because they were drinking across the whole day, and their table was covered in empty glasses. I'm like, this girl's an alcoholic. And then, so it was a funny first impression. Then I met some interesting people. And so her friend was so drunk, she went off chatting with some guy at the bar, and then I was speaking to her. I was like, so who minds your kids? I see you're out partying all the time. She goes, oh no, this is when I have a kid-free weekend. I just go out with my friend. Went off with that dude. I'm like, oh, okay. And then that night, she went home. I didn't go home with her because she lived an hour away. So I'm just going to go home. Prior to me meeting her that night, we organised to catch up on the 29th of December.
Okay.
So I was like, are you free on the 29th? She goes, yes. And she goes, that's weird. Like, who says the 29th? Like, because like at the time in door-to-door sales, you had to be on it with your routine.
Yes.
Like, I'm free on the 29th at 3 p.m. Are you free? It was very much like that.
And I really like that. Like, I like to be flowy when I'm with someone, but in the organization stage, come on, let's be German about it.
It was, so we formally organized a day, but then after that date, she was so self-conscious of how her friend was acting, all the drinks I saw on the table. I just sent her a message like, just so you know, the 29th is still happening. She goes, oh, cool. I ended up seeing her the next night. Just randomly, the 27th. Yeah, I randomly saw her the next night. I was real into my dieting at that point. And I was like, can I just cook my steak and asparagus at your house? And she goes, all right, come over. So I went over and we're having a good chat. I slept over. I'm like, this girl's actually really cool. I knew I liked her. I knew she had kids, but I wasn't thinking about the kids. I was like, this girl seems really nice. And then her friend that was with her at the bar that night, they lived together at the time. That girl had 2 kids at the time, or still has two kids. Those 2 kids were running around the house that night.
Yeah.
And so she was so scared that I was going to run away after seeing those 2 kids come up to me, touch my face, pull my hair. I still sent her a message just letting you know the 29th is still happening.
That's cool.
Because I knew she was like a bit shy about it. So I just wanted to give her that reassurance. Then we saw each other on the 29th and it was such a good date. I actually took her to the fruit shop. Like that was our first date. We went to the fruit shop. And then it was like what you said before, you like to be in flow with somebody. That's what it was that day. We were in flow. I was like, oh, let's just go to industry. So we went to industry. I bought myself some clothes and she was just looking at me. She goes, wow, you're hot. I was coming in and out of the change room. And then I asked the shopkeeper, I'm like, do you have like a size XL in this? And she goes, okay, like I'll go check. And then my girlfriend imitated her. She's like, oh, okay, I'll go check. So she was getting like possessive. I was like, wow, I like this. This girl's funny. So it just kind of flowed from there.
Okay.
But I still wasn't thinking about the kids because she was doing 50-50 with her ex-partner. So I had all this time with her because she didn't have her kids around. So we were literally seeing each other every day in the summer. Got to know her more and I was being present with her. Like I wasn't thinking, oh fuck, she's got 2 kids. Do I have to be the stepdad? What is she going to want from me? I wasn't thinking those things. I was like, I really like this girl in front of me. I just want to see where it goes. And the more I got talking to her, she was telling me how she raised her kids and like, wow, I'd raise my kids that way. And it gave me the confidence being like, wow, this woman raises her kids that way. That's how I would raise my kid. So it gave me the confidence to be like, okay, she could be a great mother for my own biological kid. So I guess that confidence kept drawing me closer and closer to her. I wasn't getting stuck into the future. I was more just focusing on what was happening in front of me on the day that I saw her.
Yeah. It is interesting just to, I guess, maybe reassure that because I think in our culture, in our society, there is that big tension and friction against, raising another man's child and whatnot.
Especially in an ethnic background.
Sure, because it's so religious,
Yeah.
right? So Christian based. And but that's not necessarily, I would say, the anthropologist in me would say that's not a human thing, that's probably a Christian thing. My limited knowledge of Polynesian culture is that young girls would actually be encouraged to have a kid and usually maybe raise it as a baby or something, but usually kind of handball it to an aunt or someone who wanted a kid or something. But like, it was a better thing, it was more attractive as a wife material, so to speak, if you'd had a kid before, because then you'd be like, oh yeah, she's fertile, she like raised a good kid, came out with 2
It's probably that innate feeling that was calling to me, yeah.
It's calling to you, right? It's like, you prove yourself as a possible mother, whereas Christians seem to rely on proxy markers for what would be a mother, whether it's like, monkey or hips and stuff, but like more like those traits of, oh, she's soft and loving, but there's no evidence to back that up usually.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you've looked past the negatives of like the kids in the way to realize, oh, this is actually good evidence of, future intent.
I think that's another reason why I was so grateful I did face-to-face sales, because they were very much training you to look past the negatives in life, see past it, because there's fruit on the other side. And I think I used those same feelings I worked on with her. And I was like, wow, this is actually becoming such a beautiful thing.
That's cool. Because you're getting like, that's the ultimate thing in anything, but especially mating and dating. It's like, you want to find someone who to you is a fucking 12 out of 10, whole package, but to everyone else is maybe a 7.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because that's how you win. Like, to get something that's undervalued, and like, so you pay less for something you value more. Like,
yeah, because I feel like most guys wouldn't step in a 10-foot pole of her.
Yeah.
Because I was having all these things in my head, like, oh, she parties all the time. Like, she wasn't partying all the time, but in the time I was following her on Instagram, I just saw like she was going out like often, compared to me never going out. I was like, oh, she goes out all the time, to me never going out. So I thought she was going out all the time, but she was only going out like twice a month. I don't know. Anyway, but I still remember you saying to me these words echo in my head all the time, like, Benson, like, the version of a queen, you never know what version that comes in. Like, you have to be satisfied with who's in front of. I remember you said this to me. You have to be satisfied with who's in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be satisfied with who's in front of you, not what looks great on paper. Like, rather than going for a princess, go for a queen. I remember you said that.
Yeah, that's something I struggle with. It's probably why I said it, and it was good, probably good advice. I don't need to listen to it. But what it is, in my head at least, is that I think I would say boy, and I'm definitely a boy, like, has some vision feeling of what a princess is. And that's great. But it's actually, it's a vision. It's a hologram, and there's no princesses don't exist. Like,
No.
they're just girls. So if you want to see a real life girl as a princess, you have to pedestalize her.
Yeah.
Lower yourself to see her as much higher than you as this princess. At some point, and I think it's the journey of maturing from boy to man, it's involved and wrapped up in that, is you have to actually kill the idea, the dream of a princess. Which is hard, because who doesn't want a princess? Who doesn't want to feel like they're with a princess?
Yeah.
But again, it relies on you pedestalizing. That's not good for anyone, and it doesn't last, and blah, blah, and you remain a boy. In exchange for killing the princess dream, you receive a woman.
Yeah.
Like a real life woman. Like, she's not a princess, but she's a woman. She's real. And like, you get to see her beyond the veil of princess shit. I've realized that I'm not actually quite there yet. So I'm still wanting the fucking princess mode, which is annoying. But it means also I'm a boy. Like, hopefully I go on this journey and I'm on, and I think it'll be a good marker of me having become more of a man to be like, oh, I love a woman as well.
I believe that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that as truth.
Yeah, it's like an old version of you that you have to like let go of. And I think Sammy, I think she's the most attractive girl I've ever seen. Like, I wholeheartedly stand by that, like, to my heart. As I said, going back to what I said before, I've weirdly gotten everything I've asked for. I actually always wanted 2 girls, and she's got 2 girls. And these girls love me so much. I'm like, wow, like, I can't believe I've got such an impact on these 2 little girls. And the way she's introduced me to them, like leaving it up to me to decide when I wanted to see them. She didn't force them on me. She goes, when you're ready, let me know and I'll bring the girls along. I totally understand if this is not for you. Like, she always gave me a way out. And I've said to her many times, like, stop sabotaging this. Like, I know there's kids involved. Like, I want to see where this goes. And so we just got closer and closer. Our values are literally the same. She's very much in her family. She wanted that partner that comes home on time. She just wanted someone to be there for her and her kids. So
how's it been to balance? I'm growing a relationship with Sammy. And then also I'm growing a relationship with this little family and the kids individually. How has it been to manage the love and energy and whatnot you put into, well, this is obviously probably the primary focus, but there can't be no focus on this. And like,
how do I juggle everything?
Yeah.
How do I invest in this girl and the kids at the same time?
and deal with like the natural emotions of maybe, I don't know, jealousy or whatever of like the dad, for instance, and like things like that. Yeah. How's it been
I think
emotionally?
the way she told me how her ex-partner treated her, I was like, wow, I can't believe men can do these sorts of things. And I knew none of those traits that her ex-partner had. And it's hard. I wouldn't say, I don't know if this is bad to say, but it's almost lucky in a way that the kids are shared with the ex-partner, because when the kids are away, I can then focus my time and energy just on Sammy. And when the kids are back with us, I can focus on being a good dad with the family, with Sammy there and the 2 little girls. So it's almost like I'm blessed in a way where I've still got that opportunity to have a normal, westernized like version of a girlfriend, but then I can also play the role of the dad at the same time. So I'm lucky in that sense. Like we still get our present time with each other. But to answer that question, how do I juggle? It's been an interesting one. Like there's been a lot of shedding in the past 6 months of what was a priority for me 6 months ago compared to what is a priority for me now.
What kind of things have shed?
Exercise was one of them, and certain friends in a friendship group. Like there are friends that who don't necessarily support me being with this girl.
What part of it don't they support? The girl or the kids or?
That's what I'm still trying to understand actually. Like why can't they just be happy for me?
Have they said like, we don't mind Sammy, but the fact that there are kids, obviously I'm sure they're not judging the kids themselves, but like,
no,
is that the problem?
I feel like it's an unknown for them. It's like when you're unsure of something, it creates anxiety because there's no certainty. That was something taught in face-to-face sales, right? But so like you really learn who's there for you, who will make the time and effort for you, because when there are kids around, it's very hard to just drop what you're doing and just go see a mate at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if Sammy needs help in the morning with the kids, I won't go to the gym in the morning. I'll stay here and cook them breakfast, or I'll go to the gym even earlier just so I can make it on time to feed them, bring them to kinder, read them a bedtime storybook at nights, sleep with them so they go to sleep, and then I can then be with Sammy at night.
So cute.
Like you read all these books like The Very Hungry Caterpillar or Green Eggs and Ham, like all those books you used to read as a kid, like, wow, I'm reading this to a little girl who will remember this.
Is that just fucking mental? Like,
yeah. What, very funny, right? Like just about the time I met Sammy, I was going through a period where I just randomly thought, what if I just went to rediscover my inner child? And I read or heard somewhere that if your inner child is the version of you that sits deep in you that you've buried away. So I thought, what if I brought that out again? So I bought coloring books. I started playing Pokemon because I used to love playing Pokemon in my free time. And then when I met Sammy, she was telling me how she was raising her kids, but then it started unlocking all these memories that I've buried away as a kid. Like the way she would raise them, I could look, I'm like, oh my God, I remember my dad telling me that. And it will open up a memory of that day that happened that led up to that particular moment, or it's a heavy word, but a particular trauma that might have come up that still sits with me today. So by dating her, I've really looked really deep in myself to try and understand myself better so I can be a better version for her and her kids.
I've heard that, that the process of like having kids, raising kids is like self-improvement on steroids, like self-discovery and yeah, you kind of get to, as you say, like you're raising this kid and you're giving them the experience of, parenthood, but in doing so, you see from the other perspective your own childhood and process of being raised, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, I'm
Especially if
sure
you have the opportunity to do it kind of consciously and with the right supports in place and whatnot.
Yes, support. You need support. When you're a kid, you're just going through life. You think everything's sunshine and rainbows, but then your parents are like, fuck, I just got home from work. I have to deal with this little shit right here. Do you reckon mum and dad can have them for the week so we can have some time for each other? These are the thoughts that go through your head. Like, oh my God, I don't have time to eat breakfast because I have to prepare breakfast for the kids. Like everything you do is for the kids. And there's still times where I fuck up and like, oh shit, like I didn't prioritize the kids at this point. And it's like a learning moment, like, okay, don't do that again. Like,
Do you think
they presume, I mean, I'm just going to take it for granted that you want this to keep on going. If you had to choose between the kids and Sammy, not that you will actually, like, it's not life and death, but I've certainly heard that the best thing is like the mum first and then flow down the kids. But I think there's often a pressure and anxiety around, oh no, everything's to the kids. And that's what we see with like modern breakdowns of the marriage. Like they're both doing it for the kids and they kind of forget each other. Are you conscious of that? Do you see that? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been listening a lot to the Ed Milet podcast, and he speaks all the time about how to be a good dad, what he's learned. He's spoken to a relationship therapist, so I've listened to those podcasts, and it's so amazing. To answer your question, I think it's for the woman first, then the kids, because when you nurture the woman, I think they can better nurture their kids and you. Yeah. So there's a lot of time I devote to, we just moved out of home, and there's a lot of time I devote to getting Sammy settled. But I kind of forgot that when we first moved in because I was still devoting time for myself selfishly. And then it wasn't until we brought up a conversation about like, oh crap, like I was prioritizing other things, not you settling in.
How does she give it back? Like, how does she prioritize you?
How does she prioritize me? So the times where she won't eat and she will make me food, or there are times where
you make it sound like you're all eating like separate meal.
Oh no, we're eating the same thing most of the time. Like sometimes I'm home from work late, she'll get dinner prepared, or she thinks Sammy's a very good thinker. Like she'll think 10 steps ahead before, like to me, only 2 steps ahead.
That's the superpower of being a mum, I feel.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's, I'm so happy I met Sammy the version she is. I'm so happy. Because I feel like if I met her before kids, I don't know if I would have dated her, to be honest. Yeah. I'm so happy I met her how she is.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And I'm learning, because she's 4 years older than me. So she's gone through a lot of things I'm going through now, being 27, that I'm starting to learn now. Yeah. And what's actually important in life. And it's not the Lamborghini SVJ. It's not that.
Yeah. Was that important to you?
I thought it was important to me. I thought it was like a statement like, oh, I've got this. I've made it. Yeah.
Lambo, man.
So I look at one, I can appreciate it, but I don't long for it anymore.
No.
But then going back in the door, the way we were spoken to was like, we were literally spoken to like, if you decrease what you want, like you are who you are or something like that, like people decrease what they want because they don't believe in themselves. So then I'm like, oh, if I don't want the Lamborghini more, does that mean I don't believe in myself anymore? That was the thought pattern that was going through my head.
So what I would say to that is, and the summary of it, and then I'll say the line and then expand. You can have anything you want.
You just can't have everything you want. And the human condition is we want it all. You can have the highest, loftiest goal. As soon as you get it, you want the next. Like, we can't handle not having everything. I want it all. I mean,
that's just the summary of humanity. I was viewing it the other day, so this is, I can kind of say it's an original thing, but like, I think we all have a list of priorities, and it's infinite. Like, you know, Lamborghini SUV, it's still there. It's like not like you don't not want it. It's just gone down the priority list. Let's say we have like 1 to infinity. Let's keep it to 100 maybe. I feel like you can have top 3. Like, you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Kind of by definition.
Yeah.
Because then it's not a priority. Like, I have 100 priorities. Well, it doesn't work like that. So you can have 3 maximum, I reckon, if you're willing to get rid of and like give up 4 to infinity.
I agree, yeah.
But as soon as you start putting energy, or the path to getting 1, 2, 3 is actually getting a bit difficult. I've hit a roadblock, so I'm going to focus my energy on 6. And then that gets probably harder, too hard, quicker, because it's only 6. So it's not, and then, oh, what about 5? And then you go back, and you kind of never get anything.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing someone can do at any point, but especially youth 20s,
what, at least for this chapter, are my 3? Like, that is a question that deserves a lot of time and energy put into it. Because then I can be clear on like, well, I'm willing to give up 4 to infinity, at least for now. Because
it's not forever, because once I get 3, well, now I only have 1 and 2. Maybe I can put 4 up into the 3 spot. Now, you can get everything over the course of your life, but just not all at once.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's very much sold to me like you can get it all by the age of 35. Like, oh, this sounds good.
And you probably can. 1 year at a time. Like, you know, if you dedicate this whole year to just getting the Lambo, you could get there. Right?
Yeah. It's not impossible.
But, like, everything else is off the list.
Yes.
But once you get there, you won't give a fuck about having a Lambo once you have it. Like,
no.
Having things isn't good. It's getting things that's good. So, going to be the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so have we run over like the actual Sammy got in the picture? That's awesome story, and awesome present day. And fuck, I'm excited to get you back on maybe in a year or maybe together. I don't know how.
Okay. Yeah.
Just track it all. But how did the inclusion of Sammy in your life affect relationships with work and?
I would say it affected it quite significantly because that priority list was kind of out the window. My priorities were health and fitness, like eating certain grams of fucking red meats or, all that sort of stuff. And then she's making me putting stuff together on the basis of what she knows I eat. So I wasn't really caring the quantities I was putting in my body or whatever. So that went out the window.
Not tracking your macros.
Not tracking my macros. I was still exercising. So because I didn't meet the kids at that point yet, my priorities were 1, Sammy, 2, exercise, 3, work. But work did not like that. Work was number 3. They wanted it number 1. So when I started seeing Sammy, like I started staying up late at night. Like if she had a bad day, I would stay on the phone with her till 11 p.m. at night, well knowing that I would still get up at 5 to go and exercise. But I still wanted to talk to her, which made me perform not as great at work. But
did they know that? Did you communicate this?
No, I didn't. Because they would have said, "Oh, do you really think this is serving you right now, Benson? Does this relate to your goals?" But the emotional connection with her was far greater than anything I've experienced with any girl.
Love is one hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So I guess I started prioritizing work less. Like they wanted us, the legal knocking time to finish was 6 p.m. But they wanted us to keep going till 6:45. So I would always leave at 6 p.m. just so I can
specific.
Yeah.
6:45.
Don't know. Okay. It was more like.
Did they pay you till 6:45?
No. And the basis was like, if you keep going till 6:45, maybe you can get one sale in between that 45 minutes. Then if you did that every day, that's 5 extra sales that you would never have gotten if you didn't work till 6:45. That was the mindset.
That is one issue. I mean, I don't know how strong. I'm definitely not willing to die on a hill, but I mean, there's so many pros, there's so many cons. Like, I think there's just as, I mean, I don't know the balance of the scales, but compared to an equivalently easy to get job on Seek, like a retail job, a retail job just has no cons and no pros. Like, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
This has so many pros, so many cons. One of them being you were not paid for your time. That's for sure. Like,
no. And it was very much like, you're going to work through the trenches. You're not going to get paid for, because everyone talks about in business I haven't gone through it myself, so I can't speak for it, but you hear all the time, like, there's going to be an amount of years where you don't earn that money before you start making money.
But to be fair,
I thought that was normal.
It is a weird, I don't know if I prefer it the way it is, because that industry in Australia, the door knocking industry, was kind of shaken up. I don't know when it happened, but they turned it into you have to get paid like minimum wage for hours. We were paid 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
And there's commissions on top. So basically that's essentially you get 10 sales a week you've paid for your salary. And then, commissions above that. So obviously if you're doing less than 10, in your head you're like, I'm not even paying for my wage here. Whereas in other countries, I went to England briefly and they were just commission only.
Yeah.
Way more cowboy, such a different vibe of the office. In one way, I think it was better in terms of everything. It's like a dictatorship almost, where everything, maybe it's not as good, but it works. Like it's efficient. Because it's just like hammering, you're here or you're not, and you're going to be here financially or not. And I feel like it belongs in that state more. When you start to do the wage, then suddenly they have more investment in you, which is good. It's less brutalistic, and that's why they give you so much training and support.
but the pressure's still there. I don't know. I really don't know if it's better or worse.
Yeah. I would hate myself if I'd worked commission only because of the results I was doing. Like, fuck, I wouldn't,
But
probably wouldn't be able to.
it would have pushed you out quicker.
Yeah.
What I mean is, I think if it's not your destiny, you'll find that out quicker because you'll be forced to quit, essentially.
Yeah.
There won't be all this support and training and stuff. And then if you're going to make it, I mean, fuck, it's to the stars. It's a weird, because it's always going to be that form of sales. It's always going to be so like emotionally, physically on a knife edge. You're really pushing the limit. On the financial side, I don't see why it would make sense to like not make that also. You're just on the edge pushing the limit. Whereas that's got more safety netting.
Yeah.
But the reality of the job and the industry hasn't got this. It's unaligned, I would say, to a certain extent.
Agreed. Yeah. It's like the support was around you to keep going, but it just couldn't emotionally be there or spiritually.
We're still on a knife's edge in the actual action of it all.
Yeah. They were just very much trying to force these things like give up, and you've given up on all these other things.
Okay, yeah.
Which scared me actually, and that's why I stayed.
Okay,
It scared me.
Cool.
Like I stayed out of fear rather than staying out of dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, every decision is love or fear.
Yeah.
And we'll logicize it to look like the other one, but a lot of them are fear.
Agreed. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, what was the process of leaving?
So yeah, like I me and Sammy started getting really close. We started officially dating in like February, so that was just about 6 months ago now. Probably the happiest like I've ever been with her. Met the kids, all that stuff. Started leaving directly from work to go back to Sammy's house so I can see the kids because I miss them. They always asked where I was, and so I would start looking at my phone on the field, like seeing texts from Sammy, and like she would send me photos of the girls and what they got up to that day, and like that was like, oh wow, this is cool. Like I'm happier seeing that than like going out to knock someone's door. So results kept going down and down and down, but I didn't really care towards the end because my focus was on this beautiful, amazing girl. And then I started some stuff, family stuff started happening back home, like with my uncle before. My auntie really needed help with him. She just needed me to like take my cousin to school. So I started doing that. I told work about it. I'm like, hey, this is happening at home. They're like, cool, we'll accommodate, it's all good. And then, yeah, as I said before, so the week leading up to me going, like I found out that I was leaving for Brisbane.
The awards, yeah.
And then I already told Kurt before he even booked the thing, like, hey,
okay.
I've got a funeral
Yeah.
on this day. He goes, cool, you can have work off that day. I'm like, great. But he still paid for me to go on that day to Brisbane for this awards night. I said, hey, Kurt, just to let you know the funeral is on that day, so I won't be going to Brisbane. Give my plane ticket to somebody else. And that's when he called me in. I remember I actually came into work late that day, like something happened in the morning. And he goes, Benson, I need to pull you aside for tomorrow. Don't wear work clothes, nothing. Just come into the office. I need to speak to you. I said, okay. I said to Sammy, this must be it. Like, I'm going, I'm leaving. She goes, no, you'll be all right. And Kurt sat me down and straight away is like, what do you reckon, Benson? Time to finish up? Like, that's how he approached the conversation. I was like, oh, tell me why. Like, why do you think so? He goes, well, you keep seem to making excuses for why you're not doing well here, basically. I can't remember the exact lines, but that's how it went. And he was just basically dishing it out at me on that day. He was like, you've become this submissive version of yourself, Benson. That sort of stuff. And I was like, am I a submissive person? Am I not the person that I was destined to be? And I felt quite upset leaving that, like, fuck, like, maybe I'm not meant to amount for anything. Like, that's how I left feeling. But like, after that point, I then went all in on Sammy, right? Like, I started living with her, the kids. Like, I spent a good 2 weeks with her. This is 3 weeks before I left for Egypt for a holiday that I booked way before I even knew her. And so it was such a beautiful thing because I then realized like what was actually important in that 3 weeks. I was like, wow, like I'm living with these 2 little girls. All my focus and attention was them and Sammy. they really started to open up to me. Like they started accidentally calling me dad, and they still call me dad now. So even losing my job, like it was the most beautiful thing ever.
When you were just then reliving that moment with Kurt, I'm sure it's hopefully to a small extent, but is there still part of you that, is he right?
Yes, there is. And I'm very open. I communicate that with my partner. I'm like, you know, there's things where like when she tries to do something for me, like, no, like, let me handle it. She goes, Benson, like, fucking let go. Let go. Like, it's almost like your old job has traumatized you to do everything yourself.
But it's also cooling. It's also calling on you to unleash your potentially in a somewhat malaligned direction. But that call to unleashing potential is still there.
Yes.
And and I guess my next question to roll into that is, it's always risky going all in on anything, as you noticed with the door knocking. But here with Sammy, how much of you is fearful of shit, like, you know, how long the honeymoon phase lasts, how long going all in and this is worth it, but that somehow finds it crumbling, or that somehow goes like, you know, oh, like, are these fears and uncertainties around?
No. And like maybe people listening to this could be like, oh, you're still in the honeymoon phase. But like, I think what actually ends a honeymoon phase? Do you stop putting in the things you did at the start? Like, do you stop buying the person flowers? Do you not go out for dinner as much? Like, what did you do at the start that attracted you to that person, or they were attracted to you then? But I'm still doing all those things. Like, I'm still buying her flowers like every 2 weeks.
But with the door knocking, you were still doing those things that got you success at the start, right?
And I was.
It started to just like not work, even though the inputs were the same.
Yeah.
What's different here?
With the girl?
Yeah. What gives you more faith that you're not going to run the same cycle?
What gives me faith? It's almost like I know someone's there to support me. No matter what thought I have in my mind, or when I have a doubt or something, she's there to support me. I know, I've always said to myself in my head, like, I know I'll always be a good dad. So now I'm practicing being a good dad. It feels easy for me to put those inputs in to being a good dad and a good partner than it was doing sales. It's almost like the emotional side of things was easier for me to do than my logical side. Don't know why. And I have absolutely no doubt at all where it will lead with her.
So it's easier to, I mean, this is just pulling things out. It's easier to clean up a little girl's vomit or wake up at 2 a.m. because of cry or whatever than it would be to take cold baths and wake up at 5 a.m. for a sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much easier. I have way more love for that. Like the girls, they wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning after a nightmare, so she's screaming. So I go to the bed just to pick her up and cuddle this little girl. I'm like, and she hugs me back. And like, that gives me way more love and appreciation. Like, I'm so glad I woke up at 2 a.m. for that. I'm really happy. I'm so glad I got up a little bit early to exercise so I could then feed them, so I can then take them to kinder. I'm so glad I was 30 minutes late to work just so I can have that moment with them on the drive onto the car. It feels like nothing. And then Sammy sees me do all this stuff and she's always like, you do so much for the girls, like you do all this. I'm like, that's nothing. Like, I feel like I still have more to give. But I never felt that in business.
It was never enough.
Yeah, it was never enough. But like just me, just for example, playing with the girls here, like playing doll houses with them while Sammy does her skincare, that means the world to her. It's like I can just take the kids off her just for those 10 minutes, just so she can do what she wants to do. And then what your question before is like, how do you nurture Sammy, or is it the woman first? I find that nurtures Sammy by me playing with her girls, because then she comes back, she's done everything that she does to realign herself, to ground herself, so she can come and be a good mum to the girls and a good partner to me.
Very cool, man. Very cool. If you can find something that looks like work to everyone else but feels like play to you,
I think
gonna
that's,
be it.
yeah. And I think it was like the common misconception, like, oh, there's someone else's kids. Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, I fucking love it. This is the best thing ever. Because then it makes me appreciate my parents more. Because if you're lucky enough and you've had your mum or dad around with you up until you're 20 or something, and they've taken you to your sporting games, they've helped you with your homework, it makes you appreciate all those times that your parents were there. So now whenever the girls ask for something, I give it to them. Not like a chocolate or anything like that. Like there's certain things you don't give, but like whenever they say, let's go to the park, I'm like, cool, let's go to the park. Put me on your shoulders. All right, I'll put you on my shoulders. Like,
It's gonna be good for both of you. Like, then do it. So yes.
yeah.
How are your parents? How they reacted to this?
First they were like, oh my God, oh, Benson. That's what the reaction was. Literally like, oh, Benson, please be careful. Oh my God. That's what my mum's reaction was.
Having only met them once, I can already see the image, like right here.
Oh yeah, it was just like, Benson, please be careful. That's what it was. But then when my parents met her and they saw her for how I see her, they're like, wow. I think they know where it's going to go as well.
Have they met the kids?
Yes. And they were like, oh my God, you're so cute. Like they were trying to talk to the kids. They made effort. My mum's always been skeptical about me doing things. Like when I was bodybuilding, she didn't like me bodybuilding. She was very nervous about me moving out of home. She was very nervous about me doing door-to-door, but I still did it. I still did all these things anyway. And then when I've introduced Sammy to my mum and dad, they were like, wow.
Is this
She's
the
a
first
great woman.
one that like they got onto it pretty quick?
Yes. When I told mum that Sammy was going to move in with me here, she was all for it. She's like, okay, make sure you have a joint account. Make sure Sammy doesn't do everything for you. You got to help her too. She was my mum, the first girl I've ever brought home, they actually text each other now. My parents have never done that before. And that's such a big relief for me because my family have never really accepted any girl I've brought home. Not that I've brought girls home all the time, but like, this is the one time that they've accepted.
And even it sounds like it's even the one pursuit that you gone all in to a certain degree, like bodybuilding, door knocking,
Where they were always hesitant, and this one, which is holding a similar position in your life on your priority list, and they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were like, wow, this is it. This is the girl. Because Sammy makes so much time and effort for my parents, and they make so much time and effort for her. I introduced her to my auntie who lives just above me. And when my uncle was really sick, Sammy, one of the first things she did was make my uncle like an orange cake, and he wasn't eating at the time, and he ate the orange cake. And to my auntie, that was the greatest thing in the world. But for Sammy, she was like, oh, I just fucking made an orange cake, like whatever. Yeah. But now my auntie gives it all the time of day. Like my auntie gets involved into my relationship. Like she's so all for Sammy. I'm like, wow, like I've got the support of my family, my younger brother, mum and dad, my auntie, my nonna, they all love Sammy and the girls.
Big question.
Have you discussed, is it not putting a timeline on it, but would you two have kids together as well? Yeah.
Yes. And what did she say to me? She's always like, she always knew that whoever she was to date would want to have a kid with her. And she's 31 now, or turning 31. And I expected to have my own kid around when I'm 30, which is about the time when she expected to have a kid anyway. So it kind of aligns in a way. We have spoken about it, yeah. Because I think like being a mum, I think these things are pretty important to talk about early on because from Sammy's point of view, her priority is like my girls, my girls, my girls. How do my girls fit into the picture?
Yeah.
So I'm full like, yeah, bring them in. Like I want to be there for them. Yeah, I want to take them to their sporting games. Like I want to play with them. I want to read them the books. Will I love the girl? This is an interesting one. Will I love her kids as much as I love my own biological kid? And the answer is yes. Because like I've spent so much time with them.
Especially if you get this runway. If it's not for a few years until that potentially happens, like I feel like that's a good grounding as well. I feel like
Step kids, it's impossible essentially because like I've got my kids, I've had my kids, then I meet someone else who's got their own kids. I mean, that's never going to have a chance at like me loving them as like on equal level. Maybe if they grew, like maybe if they're all very young.
Yeah.
And they kind of had the majority of the time. But I can see that. Yeah.
I guess I'm very lucky in the sense that like I'm coming to their two little girls' lives being 3 and 5 when they're still quite malleable.
They're gonna have memories like that. You're gonna be, you know, if they're our age, you're gonna have been there for the entire length and breadth of their memory.
Yeah.
Really, you know?
Like I'm not coming to a 13-year-old's relationship. So in that sense, I'm lucky. And when they see a kid come along, I just know for a fact that Sammy's 2 little girls will treat our kid just as well as their own little brother or sister. I'm fully confident in that.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, through like raising kids and we were talking about it before, how you kind of, it allows this awesome opportunity to reconsider and reperceive your own upbringing. I love how like detailed and kind of we've laid out this story, but it's only been the last year and a half maybe. What should we know about the 25 years before that or 23 years before that maybe plant certain chapter markers to give this all context?
Well, to go back, I was born in Melbourne, and when I was 2 years old, we moved to Sydney, and I was just the only child at the time. And then my mum had my little brother, Christian, and we lived in Sydney at that point. And
Where in Sydney, do you know?
We lived in a place called Carlingford. Yeah, bit further west. And then apparently, according to my mum, we were only meant to be there for 12 months, but we stayed in Sydney for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I spent majority of my early childhood in Sydney. So the school, I went to a Catholic school. I don't practice Catholicism, but anyway, I went to Catholic schools, and the schools were very much about community. They taught us about like how to love one another, how to love each other before you love yourself, put others first. That was in my primary schooling and my high schooling, that was very much the same concept.
So this whole like selfish salesman was never gonna love.
No, because Kurt was explaining to me his upbringing, which was like my dad, obviously his dad passed away quite young. And so I think he was almost like, I got to be that provider for the family. And all these other brothers did quite well. But I've had that complete opposite kind of nurtured upbringing where when I was in my early childhood, Dad came to all my soccer games. He coached my soccer teams. Like I remember those things. I remember him cheering me on the sideline when I was playing soccer as a little kid. When I wanted to play AFL, like I loved watching Collingwood play on TV. I'm like, Dad, I want to play footy. So he enrolled me into footy, AFL. So to go back on that context, I remember my dad allowing me the opportunities to be a sporty kid. My schooling when I was in Sydney allowed me the opportunity to be selfless and kind. Then when I was 12 or 11, my mum's like, all right, we're actually moving back to Melbourne where all our family is. So I moved into year 7 in Melbourne at Marcelin, another Catholic school, not knowing anyone. So I was forced to make friends that way.
They're the school are really good at footy.
So yeah, have produced a few footy players from there. So because I was a sporty kid, I enrolled myself into local footy teams, soccer teams, and like all those boys because it was an all boys school, all those boys that played in those footy teams also went to the same school. So I became friends with them, started creating my own friendship groups. So that was like my secondary schooling. It was still the same thing. Love others before yourself, strive with virtue. That was very much the concept that we were taught in high school. They enrolled us to do things like community service, like we went to repat homes, feeding old people. So I got exposed to all this stuff. Like I remember once we had an excursion to a juvenile detention centre. So we were playing soccer with these like troubled kids, and they were clearly troubled. It made me feel very lucky to have that nurtured upbringing that I had. My dad was always home there for me. He still came to all my sporting games. He started to become treasurer of a club. Like my dad was very involved with me, and so was my mum. My mum would, again, always come to the games, like take me to training, all those things, right? Always read me the storybooks, help me with my homework, that sort of thing, right? So then when I finished high school, I went on to uni.
Just to interject.
Yeah.
Don't want this to sound like fucking so sorry, but I was like, why is that? Like, it's like, not that I was Kurt level, but I definitely didn't have that. And it's funny because I definitely see the power, and that's illustrated in the context of hyper and sales and all sorts of other contexts of not having this nurturing, not having so much of this obvious overt love and affection and support. And you can wield that. You can wield that into becoming whatever goal you want, right? But when it comes down to it, I think everyone would rather have been nurtured and loved, and maybe their name's not remembered forever, and they're not got $10 million in the bank by the time they die, right? They're normal. But fuck, you'd rather take that life than having had it hard and tough and compensated for the fact by making greatness and success. I don't think I think people who wouldn't make that trade are fooling themselves because they wouldn't want to let that cat out the bag if they're on the path to greatness and success. It's not like it's a risk if you're on that path and you're channeling that trauma to even consider the love and nurture, because that's going to, as hyper does, it's a distraction. It's going to set, like, that's obviously what everyone wants. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you want the greatness and success, you better not look at it too well, because then you're like...
Yeah. I think that's probably where the disconnect was. It's like all these people have, from what I've heard, majority of people had troubled upbringings. And a lot of times it was like, Benson, go into that dark place. You know, be that savage. I'm like, I was never that savage. And I remember we were on field together and you're like, Benson, you're coming to these people on a business trip in Maryborough. Everyone was so unhappy there. And I remember coming out of a business with you and you're like, Benson, like you're coming to these people with such a overly joyous attitude, but these people just see it and they're like, they almost envy you.
The people of Maryborough.
Yeah. And I was like
you were struggling to connect because, most people weren't happy and couldn't reach to that light place.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to reach to a darker place to connect.
Yeah.
And to get on the same vibration.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to, well, don't.
Yeah, I think this is where the spiritual disconnect started coming into play. Like, I didn't quite understand, like, when people like, I went to that dark place, I had to get those sales. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I didn't understand that. I have a family around me. Like, a lot of people were backpackers who left their families. What are they running from? I was lucky enough to have my mum and dad still there for me. I'm lucky. So all these things that they were teaching us in the job, like to be good at sales, I just couldn't relate to at all. Just couldn't relate to.
So, okay, you leave high school and you're still, just the interim years of your young 20s, because they're very formative. What were you up to? What were you doing?
I left school at 18, like graduated year 12, and then I went to do university and I thought, I'd be a great sports scientist. Like, I love sport. I love eating healthy. I thought learning about the human body was fun and cool. So I went into sports science and I got into, my degree was sports science and commerce, finished that degree. And in that time I did my first bodybuilding show, and it was cool because I was learning, I never went to the gym at that point.
Wait. You did a bodybuilding show without having gone to the gym?
Oh, no. So my first year of uni was all about human anatomy and like learning the bare bones of humans. And then because it was a sports science course, they would teach you how to lift at the gym and like how athletes actually train as athletes. So they taught you all these things. So like, wow, like that's how Usain Bolt and that's how Justin Gatlin have massive legs. Like they do these squats and shit. They do
So
rows.
you didn't know any of this?
No, I had nothing. I didn't get into gym till I was 19.
Wow. So you like obviously playing athletic sport and stuff, but just running around and kicking balls.
Yeah.
You weren't.
Wasn't strength training, nothing.
What were your stats? Like what when you first started gym? How big were you? Like
I was like, the term is skinny fat. So I was like 80 kilos, but I didn't actually have any muscle. I looked like I had a frame, but there was no muscle there.
Yeah, okay.
And if I showed anyone a photo, it looked like I was a skinny little guy.
wow. What do you remember? Like what were you benching, squatting, deadlifting? Or
Oh, like I couldn't press more than 10 kilos each arm on the bench press.
40 kilo bench.
No, 20 kilo bench. Like I was really skinny.
Wait,
when
but
I
the
first
bar's
started.
20, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was just using dumbbells because I didn't use the bar at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
10
so
kilos.
10 kilos each arm, so 20 kilos altogether.
What?
That's when I
At
first
80
started.
and weighing 80.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Bro,
So then,
wow.
So then through uni, I learned how to lift properly. I did placements at sports centers. And then I signed up at a gym and I paid the PT. I'm like, I don't know anything. He gave me all these like, rows and like chest presses and dips to do. I didn't know what I was doing, but I loved going to the gym. So I kept going every day. And then I had my first proper girlfriend at the time. Well, backstory, I had a girlfriend in high school, which only lasted 6 months, and she cheated on me at the time, and I thought, fuck, that's the worst thing in the world. But then
And I imagine you've always been quite a lover boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I have been, yeah, because I only really knew love through my nonna, my nonno, like they were still together at like 80-something years old, married for like 50 years. So that's all I really knew. So for a girl to cheat me, like, wow, this is the worst thing in the world, like, and I was so naive at the time, like, how could I let this happen? I look back and I'm like, fuck, I was such a stupid 18-year-old. Like, I wish I knew what I knew now.
Yeah.
But like, that's part of growing. So yeah, started getting to the gym. Then I met another girl. We dated for 4 years, which is a long time. But through that time, I did 2 bodybuilding
So
shows.
she saw the like change, the metaphysical change
Yeah.
of your body.
Yeah, she did.
Nice.
From the skinny sort of boy.
She bought
to-
the dip.
Yeah, she wanted the dip, but then she couldn't ride out the dip, I guess. But I remember at the time, like we got to the 4-year mark, I was just like to her, look, we're just not aligned right now.
What was she
And
up to? What was she doing?
Not really doing too much.
Yeah. And you were like,
I was trying
wanna-
to strive for things, but she wasn't trying to. She was kind of holding me back. Like she didn't like me bodybuilding. So I think there's all these things that I sacrificed for her, like coming from an ethnic family. She was Australian, so a lot of values didn't actually align. A lot of communication things that she didn't understand that was very normal to me, like how loud Italians talk sometimes.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't actually get that. She didn't understand how much we eat.
So there's this Family Guy episode, and there's these Soviet sleeper spies in the American
Okay.
population, and so it's like a normal person, normal family, but if they hear a phrase said, it like hits the computer chip in their head, and they suddenly become like death
Oh,
robots or whatever, right? So they had to make this phrase something that would never be said if it, weren't.
It's
trying
like
to
it's like
activate.
Execute Order 66, like Star Wars.
Right, exactly. Like, we don't want to activate them accidentally and then
Yeah.
start killing people. So the phrase was, "Gosh, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet."
Which is so not true.
Never going to be said by accident.
Yeah. Funny. That's actually good. But yeah, like sometimes I'd go up for seconds, right? And I would be like, not screamed at, but it would be looked down upon to like go up to get more food at her house.
What?
But it was so normal for me to do that.
Yeah.
Being in like an ethnic background, you just fucking eat until you can't anymore. But
Yeah.
that was
Wait,
weird
why?
for
Because they
them.
would like save it for leftovers, or
Yeah, basically that. So there was just things that weren't aligning, and I'm glad it served me up until, but I think I stayed in that relationship for a bit longer than I should have. But again, that's all part of learning. And it kind of, when I guess the third girlfriend came along, which only lasted 3 months, I think she was a little bit like 3 years younger than me. So I didn't realize how much I was bringing myself down to put her on that pedestal that you were talking about before. I think that's why it broke me a lot for like the first 5 or so months, because I was like, fuck, why do I see her so up here, but I'm down here? Like I didn't get it. But yeah, so I started bodybuilding, and then it was like the discipline of working on myself attracted better people around me. So I got more drawn into people who were fun and like into the gym as well. But then my girlfriend, that 4-year relationship, she wasn't into the gym as much. So then I was hanging out with all these other blokes that like, oh, like, fuck, let's go to the gym and like, let's train for 2 hours. Like, let's fucking get a chest pump. I'm like, yeah, this fucking sounds cool. And I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, we did that. And she goes, yeah, wow. She wasn't happy for me. But
She didn't like the pecs and the, because what were your stats?
no, she didn't like when I did a pec dance or like, she appreciated that I was muscular, but didn't like what it took to get
What were
there.
your newbie gains like?
From 80 kilos, I went up to 85 within like, I don't know, 8 months or so, but it wasn't all muscle mass. It was obviously, for anyone watching, like obviously newbie gains is quite easy to get, but it's not all muscle mass. But I was getting bigger, I was getting more muscular, like attracting more people around me, like better people.
So maybe a year later, what were you then benching? Would you remember?
I'd say like 60 kilos.
Woo, 30
Yeah.
excited.
30s, yeah. So I was benching 30s like a year later. And that's when I did my first show, a year and a half. So I met my coach, his name is
You looked
Rhett.
so small in that show though, because you shredded to nothing.
That was my third show.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah, that was my third show. So I went from like 96 kilos down to 80 stage weight.
Whoa.
So I weighed the same amount that I started gym at, but I was like so much more muscular.
Yeah.
So my body composition changed dramatically. So I met Rhett, who coached me through 3 different competitions. The first comp, I didn't look shredded at all, looked like I didn't even train, but I still did it. And then the second show was a year later. I was lean, but like not shredded lean. The third show, I was like shredded lean, won my pro card, and that took it was a pro card for a small federation, but I'm still happy I did it.
Oh, you get that pro card, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when, I can't remember what ep he would be, maybe 26 or something. Will King, and he was talking about getting his pro card in like the most like dodgy way. It was like this
Will.
like backyard competition in COVID, and there were like 3 competitors.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he got the pro card, and everyone's like training for years to get. I mean, he is jacked.
Which
like,
Will?
Yeah, he's a guy in California, but no, it's so funny. So why not? What's the attraction to bodybuilding? Why and competing? Why not just go to the gym and get big? And
I think it was more that like, because I knew everyone else was going to the gym, and then I was also learning, still in my sports science course at the time, I was like, I know so much more than the average gym goer. Like, why not push it to the next level? Why not like do something that no one else, everyone is going to gym, why not do something a bit more than them?
so there's always that drive to that greatness. For that.
Always, yeah. It's like, oh, I can be a bodybuilder. I can show people like what it means to actually lift properly, to eat properly. Because everyone's like, oh yeah, I eat fucking this much amount of protein. I was like, yeah, I'm doing that, but I look better than you. Like, it was like that inner ego building. So
I distinctly remember you saying at one point how you like looked better or had better abs or something than the door knocking team, and I was like, shut up.
the door knocking team. I don't even remember saying that. Fuck.
Throwing you under the bus.
Shit. But yeah, I think I like the gym because the people that I was with at the gym made me feel better than the people at home, because mum and dad never really went to the gym. My younger brother never went to the gym. No one in my family went to the gym. So I had more fun hanging out with the blokes at the gym and being friends with them, going out partying with them from the gym. It was fun.
Drinking fucking protein shakes.
Drinking protein shakes, like eating, because my mum was all about eating healthy. Then I started eating healthy. Then she's like, Benson, why don't you eat an apple and just go for a walk? You can get muscles that way. I'm like, that's not how it works, mum. And like, there was a time I was on the Stairmaster for like 40 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Mum's like, why don't you just walk up and down our stairs? Same thing. I'm like, no, mum, it's not the same thing. So they didn't understand it. No.
No? Okay.
Because you're like, you're walking up,
You're walking
and
up
then you're
and
going
you're
down
walking
the gravity. Like,
Yeah, okay.
it doesn't click in my mum's head. Like, why are you going to the gym 5-6 days a week? It doesn't make sense. Like, can't you just go 2? Like, no, mum, it's not that. It's all right.
That is one thing. I think this whole story really elucidates the fact that priority list, there's 2 parts to it. When you think about human stories and connection and interaction with other people, one part is each person admitting to themselves or figuring out what their priority list actually is, and having the
clarity and courage to act as if they are prioritizing the 3 and then the
Yeah.
rest. That's one part of it. The second part of it is realizing and admitting that I have my priority list, your priority list is very different, and that's okay. Because I think if you're less confident in the clarity of your own priority list, or like whether that's actually what I should be prioritizing, you're a bit kind of self-conscious. What we do is we try to imprint that on other people, because if they then buy into it, it strengthens my buy-in to my own list. But I think there's a lot of harm done there.
Yeah.
It's just like I internally align and figure out and clarity encourage my own priority list and act and live out accordingly. I then have a lot of time and patience and willingness to accept other people's as being very different. What I personally don't like is like when they don't have the clarity, but that's also a projection of my own insecurity, my own clarity with my own.
Yeah, right.
When I'm just on my shit and I know what I want, I'm very accepting of everyone else being on their shit or not being on their shit, knowing what they want, being different or not. It's only when I'm not so clear on what I want, or I'm nervous as if do I want the right things, that's when I start to get in the lives of others, the motivations.
Repeat that last part again.
It's only when I'm not so confident and clear with what I'm doing and with what I want that I then start to have trains of thought like, what are you doing? Are you sure you should be going to the gym 5 times or not 2?
Yeah.
If I'm just doing my own shit, it's like, yeah, Benson just goes to the gym 5 times. It's great. I love Benson. I just don't care, like, to a certain degree. Like, so it's interesting when you think about the hyper journey and the girls involved and the parents, like when and how people interact with how you live your life and how you value things. Because it seems like as a someone who's loving and sensitive, you do care about other people's opinions. But you can also see in retrospect how that the negative sides of caring about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I get distracted and stuff. Now, eventually it gets you to the right place, and now you can be in a place where I'm pretty sure I know what I want and how to get it and blah, blah. And I've still maintained my ability to care about other people's opinions. That empathy, sensitivity allows me to be a good father. But it would have been easy to callous yourself on the way there and never get here.
I'd say it's hard to callous yourself on the way. Because if I cared what people think, I probably wouldn't be with my partner now. Because then everyone's like, oh, why do you want to be with a girl with two kids? But I'm like, I don't care about that. I don't care what people think about that. It's not changing how I see her. It probably looks weird to my mates now, like, oh, fuck, Benson's not... We don't see Benson as much, but I'm so happy at home here.
Do you think, I guess to my point, do you think because you're pretty clear on what you want and what you're doing, it's easier for you to hold back judgment on other people and how they live?
Yeah, you're probably right. I see that
less
now.
Judgmental or more judgmental?
Less or more judgmental. It's probably only really judgmental when people see it as a problem for me. Like they project like, oh, is this for you? That's when it becomes judgmental. Like, oh, well, why are you prioritizing that in your life? Sometimes when I see someone who isn't as well built on the street, I sometimes think like, wonder what you prioritize. Maybe you are a successful businesswoman or man. Maybe you, don't know, like obviously gym's not a thing for them. Like gym's just one example, but if health and fitness is not for you, like I wonder what else is something for you. Like so
it's easier to get to that point of, oh, quite clearly you're fat, but like, so you don't prioritize exercise and diet and stuff. But instead of just judging them as an unsuccessful person, you might be, oh, I wonder what you're successful at and prioritize.
Yeah, I think that.
Because like, you know, as you're saying, kind of the Kurt character of, well, if you're not into this job, then you're, as you were describing, you're unsuccessful. It's not the open-mindedness to think, oh, you might be just not prioritizing this and instead prioritizing other things.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
It's got to be the ultimate lesson.
Yeah, it is. And in the last 6 months has been a real eye-opener. It's like there's a lot of skin shedding right now that I never realized I put walls up here, or I think a certain pattern. Like when something bad happens, like what pattern do I fall into? So it's actually made me more aware of those things. And I think priorities change all the time. Like you never know what curveballs life will throw at you now. Yeah, being in your early 20s.
It's true.
And there's a quote that always actually sticks out at me that I think everyone should know when it comes to comparing yourself to others. It's like, there were always going to be champions in the world, and your definition of a champion could be an athlete, like a 100-meter sprinter, or your version of a champion could be like a successful businessman, or could be a great entrepreneur. Champion could just be someone who just is really selfless in their community. They might give back, I don't know, giving free bread or whatever. That might be a champion for you. But like, for example, Donald Trump could be someone's champion, but then if I compare myself to Donald Trump, I might think, Donald Trump doesn't know how to fucking lift a barbell. So I actually know more about health and fitness compared to Donald Trump because he doesn't seem to prioritize in health and fitness. Bear in mind, this guy's fucking running the country. But like, do you kind of see what
Probably not very good at changing nappies.
No, I'm still learning how to change nappies.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. But
I'd be very surprised if Donald Trump has changed a nappy in his life.
you're probably right. Like, he's probably always gotten someone to do it. But there's always going to be successful people around you, but there's always something that people have that will be more successful than them, if that makes sense. Like, Usain Bolt, probably not as spiritual as you, but like, you're more in time with your spirituality compared to Usain Bolt. So he might look at you and be like, fuck, Tim's a real champion.
I mean, he probably is. I mean, the other caveat to that is people who find extreme success, like they go to the end of the bell curve on one thing, by nature of having done it, they know how to orient themselves to do it again in other things.
You're probably right, yeah.
As well. So I think there's always value in going as hard and far as you can in a pursuit, ideally in a quite aligned pursuit. I would argue that you actually can't go that hard and far in a pursuit that's not aligned. But I think there's inherent value in just the process of going hard and far in anything. It could be flute playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you like unlock versions of yourselves and you shed shit. And you see this like with Olympians, for instance, they might have just gone so hard into this one sport. And then they leave that, and then when it comes time to business or family or whatever, they might just be able to equally take that. That being said, maybe like something like being a mum is almost the opposite way to running a business. Maybe, who knows? In some ways, but maybe not.
I can't speak to that. Like, but when I met Sammy, she's ran businesses before, and she's done it with kids. She's dealt with a partner that was like never really there for her, but she still did it all on her own almost. And like, it's such an amazing thing to see. Like, I have so much admiration for doing that. I'm like, fuck, like what I thought was emotionally hard, like she's dealt with something way more emotionally harder. So for her to deal with certain things emotionally is easier for her compared to like a normal average person.
Cool.
Like emotional capacities, Sammy's emotional capacity is so much higher compared to a lot of people I know.
But you're not pedestalizing.
Not pedestalizing?
Yeah. What feels different between the 3-month girl that pedestalized versus Sammy? I mean, you feel powerful yourself at least.
Yeah, it's like I feel empowered now.
Yeah.
Whereas before I didn't really feel as empowered.
It's like princess, it's like king queen.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like we're on the same level. We complement each other. And she was saying there's certain times where she realized that she's just maybe wasn't as patient as I was, and she's learning like patience through me. Like, wow, I can teach someone who I admire so much something that is so easy for me to do. Like, I feel like the right person will learn from you just as much as you learn from them.
Nice, man. I'm all out of questions. Is there anything else you would
No.
to this wanting to discuss and put out there?
No, not really, no. But like, I guess in saying that, I think I never thought spirituality was a thing. I thought it was just like some make-believe, like, you know, you fucking walk on your bare feet in the earth, like you feel the grass. But there's actually a thing to it. Like you ground yourself. The energy or vibration that people pick up on, I actually believe. When you feel like something's not right, your gut feeling is typically telling you it's true. So I've sort of, it makes me think deep about who's around me, like who's there for me, who's not. And I'm learning that through someone who's a little bit older than me. And I'm like, oh wow, it's giving me a different perspective on my thinking. Like I'm not thinking one way. She helps me think a different way. I help her think a different way. Yeah, it's a really cool thing to go through right now. I feel like right now I'm at a malleable point in my life at this point. And as I said, I've weirdly gotten everything that I've asked for without trying to get it. Yeah.
It's very cool.
Like right now, I've said once, I'm like, oh, what if I did influencing? What if I got in front of a camera and like, what if I started doing modeling? What if I started...
So you do a few model shoots, right?
Yeah. So one was for Sammy's business, Saray, for her brand. She wanted me like in the photos, like a masculine figure. And she wanted to be the feminine figure of the jewelry just to show like a polarity there. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And then I got my new job at like a company that sells like commercial and home use gym equipment. I thought, fuck, that's so aligned to me. I've said to myself before, wouldn't it be fun if I sold gym equipment? And I weirdly have a job now where I sell gym equipment.
That is true.
They've got me to be their ambassador and model. And so now I'm modeling for them.
Fuck yeah.
So I've weirdly started to become a model through my work. I've wanted to be home on time for dinner, which I am now at home on time for dinner. It's so strange how I've gotten everything that I've asked for.
Very quickly, hey?
Yeah.
And I guess I do have one more question. I was thinking about this. I was like, I wonder if that would be like a actual business pursuit, or whether it's one of those things like don't make a business out of your passion because it kind of ruins the passion. But where's Choc's Pizzeria at?
Good question, yeah. So I've realised that to make that work, you have to go all in on it. You need to be really good at making pizza. You need to devote time to making sure the dough's right.
We should actually paint a picture though. Like, I've got a video on my Instagram. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I watch it sometimes. Yeah, I do.
So, of Benson just sharing, like, again, just this love, this familiar, this whole essence of you and the life you've lived through making your backyard on your little, what do you call it, balcony, with a little wood fire pizza oven. Like, literally the team of door knockers, a few of them were new and you wouldn't have even known. I'm sure there was a part of it, like it's a networking, it's, showing leadership in the business, but really it didn't feel like that at all. It felt like this, Benson's really proud and keen to make pizzas and just share these recipes and experimenting with it and flipping them over and putting honey on it and all sorts of shit. And he's like, yeah, boys, come over, check on our new apartment.
Yeah.
And we just had this pizza night, and you did a few of them. I think I was only at one.
Made heaps, yeah.
Ashamedly, but there's always the joke, like, it's like, but I think at least at least for the short to medium term, it's definitely one of those things. I get the vibe of like, keep this as a passion, not letting the corporate pressures get.
Yeah, it's definitely going to stay as a passion because, like, you have to think about things like, fuck, I need a bigger oven if I'm going to serve more people. I need a bigger car to tow the bigger oven around. Like, fuck, I don't have these things. But the priority is not to invest money in that.
Yeah.
The priority is to, like, get a dream home with my partner. I could put that money into like getting the bigger car to have the bigger oven to get good at pizza. But I have to devote more time to get good at pizza, which takes away time from the girls here. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm happy to, I know enough to make a good pizza where people can be like, oh, fuck, this is next to restaurant craze.
Yeah. We want to go to Benson's place on the planet.
I know enough, that's satisfaction enough to me.
Yeah, because with our priority list, there might be number 6. So if you were a bit scattered, it'd be easy to dip into that and be like, oh, number 1, 2, 3 are kind of getting hard at the moment. It's a few roadblocks and stuff. Let's put some energy and money and time, resource into number 6. But the point is, if you can be clear and just stick with the 3 and just be happy
to let number 4, 5, 6 sit there.
Mm.
That's actually the hard bit. It's the girl in the red dress from The Matrix. You know that scene? Like,
I haven't watched the movie.
so
Actually,
like they're walking through and it's all a simulation, and he's like getting distracted by the girl in the red dress who's actually evil. I can't remember how it works. It's a hormosy
okay.
thing. You figure out what you want, and usually, and if it's the right goal, it will be aligned, and you will feel like it's play when everyone else feels like it's work. But there's still gonna be hard bits. And there's going to be distractions. And the distractions are always things you actually do really want as well.
Yeah.
You just can't have them both at least at the same time. If you're trying to build a business, probably not the best time to get into a relationship that you actually care about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
vice versa. And if you can just avoid, at least for the chapter where those priorities need to be in the top positions, avoid the 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I think that was very much a case when I was doing door-to-door sales. It was like, I kept getting distracted by the 6th priority, and like it would take away from the business.
It's usually a good sign that the ones that are currently in the top 3 shouldn't actually be there. Or you need to figure yourself out. But usually it's actually that they're the wrong goals to take those spots.
Yeah, like I'm happy it's played out how it has. The whole pizza thing, like that night, that Instagram video you were talking about where everyone just came over, even new people that I only met like once, I invited them into it as well. I was like, yeah, just come over. Like, I didn't really think much about it. I was like, just come and fucking enjoy it. But then I remember my leader, Jack, at the time, he sat me down and was like, Benson, when you do these things, there's got to be a purpose. I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, are you hosting this pizza party to network? Are you hosting this pizza party to get people closer together? Are you hosting, like, why? I was like, well, I don't know, I just want people to come around and eat it. Like, that's what I was thinking. But he's like, no, Benson, there's got to be intention behind it. They didn't see it how I saw it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I think that at that point I started realizing that the job wasn't for me. Yeah. Like, the things that they were pushing on us just weren't aligning. And Jack's like, you know, because Benson, it really exhausts you. Like, see what happens when you do pizza? Like, you'll get exhausted next day, you do 0 sales. Like, I was like, oh, well, okay. Should I? Let's get up.
This is a joie de vivre. This is the whole point of this fucking crazy existence, right? Like, we're monkeys floating on a fucking rock. Like,
yeah.
I don't care about knocking on doors and fucking getting Lambos. I care about fucking eating pizza with my friends.
Yeah, like filling our bodies. Because, like, me being brought up through my grandparents going to their house, like, all they wanted to do was just eat. They wanted us just to eat their food and be at the table. That's all they cared about. And that's all I care about when I have people over for food. Like, I just want to make them good pizza that I know that not many other people can do. So the question about where the pizzeria is, it's like, it's far on the back burner. It's far on the back burner. I'm now content with making pizza just when there's like 4 to 6 people over.
We may one day see it climb up the ranks, but not now.
No, not now. Maybe.
That's good. I think that's really good.
I enjoy it enough because like I've made my own menu and stuff, and there's certain inputs that get you to fulfill what goal that might bring you. But it's whatever it takes away, what are you willing to give up for it, which I'm not willing to do right now. Like, I'm happy just having the pizza oven just sitting out there being used maybe once a month now.
So good.
Yeah.
I'll have to try to line up next time I'm in Melbourne to get them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do, mate.
Man, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
That's all right, Tim.
Yeah. So good.
That's, I think it's doing face-to-face sales. It's weird how it's made such an impact on my life. I think one of the great things it's taught me is like being open to any opportunity that comes your way, no matter what form it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I'm going to look forward to talking to Jack.
Oh, yeah. I know. I feel like it'd be the polar opposite. Yeah, but everyone has a heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Shall we?
Sure.
Where'd you get this from?
JB, I suppose. This is the pizza oven. How good.